Disclaimer: the Weekly D podcast, its host, and guest speakers are not financial advisors. Please take all financial opinions as what they are, opinions. The Weekly D podcast and Paper Plate Media Group, along with its guest speakers, are not responsible for any personal losses within the crypto space. Please invest responsibly and enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, D fam? Welcome back to the Weekly D podcast. I'm your host, Danny G. This is my co host, Kyle Austin, and today we have a very special Doge episode for you guys. As we are joined by some super cool people. First, let me introduce our Dogepalooza team manager and crypto queen, Sadie Superfly.
Hey guys.
Next, we have the host of Doge Chat with Coco and core team member Coco Chanel.
Hey guys, what's going on? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Then we have core member and Doge hodler Signature Doge.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. And last but not least, the reason we're all here today, founder and father of Dogepalooza, it's Greg.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing tonight?
How y'all doing?
We're doing pretty good, man. We're doing pretty good. It's really good to have everyone officially on the Weekly D podcast. So I want to, again, thank you guys all for coming on. And I guess we can kind of, jump in anything. I hope you guys' days has been good. How's the Twitter Spaces been going for everybody? Has it been nice and smooth?
Twitter Spaces has been, it's actually been very peaceful. I've been trying to do some mental health chats, trying to keep everybody calm about the market, telling them this is just, it's a rough, like we have our up days, we have our down days. This is a downtime, but we're going to come back up soon. I'm confident.
Exactly, Coco. And I absolutely love your confidence. For those of you who don't know Coco, actually, for most of these people, we've actually all met via Twitter, via what's called the Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces is a brand new, I guess it's almost like if you guys have ever been a part of, what's the name of it? It doesn't matter. But Twitter Spaces is basically the equivalent to like a live podcast. And the way that it runs is basically we have a specific amount of listeners and panelists, and then there will be a ton of people who would listen in, ask questions, things like that. So if you ever want to jump on a Twitter space, learn more about Dogecoin, or just kind of talk with everybody, like Coco said, they do mental health chats. They've done just after dark chats, which are just really fun and silly. Just all over. They even talk about AMC and other things. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out Twitter Spaces and go check out at Coco Chanel Adair as well. So yeah, shout out to you as well. So we'll go ahead and kind of get started. So I wanted to go ahead and start with you, Greg. Greg is the Dogepalooza founder, the official founder of Dogepalooza. And I wanted to kind of say, welcome to the show. And I want to know a little bit about you. How did you get started with Dogepalooza? Like, when did this become a reality in your head?
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you guys for having me. We really appreciate it. It's great to be on your all's podcast, and we look forward to this airing. And thank you all once again for having us. Yeah, what happened was I happened to be on Twitter working on a client's account. They had an issue, and I was helping them with it. And basically, I saw the spaces, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And it was new. It was like probably early May when I saw it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. So then on one of my other accounts, I was playing with it, listening to it, seeing some of the spaces. And what I heard was a lot of people talking about Doge and Dogecoin and stuff in the community. And I've been a holder of Dogecoin since last year. And so I was like, oh, this is cool. And, we can actually talk to people instead of just typing to them. And that was neat and fun and interactive. And I heard people talking about we need to get Doge accepted more places and more businesses and charities. And in my career of 30 plus years in entertainment, I've had the experience of working with a lot of charities, a lot of Fortune 100 and 500 corporations, and various businesses, small, medium, and large. So I thought, oh, this would be an opportunity that I could help the community by utilizing my experience and knowledge and connections and do only good every day with that. And so that's where the ideal started for me. And while I was listening, I was like, how can we do this in a fun, interactive way? And so the more I listened to people talking, the more I saw how fun the community was. I was like, concerts and events and a festival would be the best way to do this. So I was like, let's plan some sort of event festival where you could educate people on how to accept, how to, use crypto, get a wallet, buy, sell it, spend it, but then also get businesses and charities and onboard them to accept crypto in a more fun, friendly atmosphere that has built-in support immediately. Because you got the Doge family and Doge army right there at the event having fun, spending crypto on these vendors, on the donations for the charities. So that's what the concept started as. And then it was also because the community of Doge is so important. I was like, we could build this in a way that is not a corporate kind of concert or festival, but more a community organized, community organic, community for the community, by the community, to benefit the community and uplift the community, as well as to shine light on national, regional, local charities and donate and give back to them, which is all part of doing only good every day. And so that's how the concept was born. And that's kind of what we did with it. And then I went into, securing the domain names, into, incorporating the LLC, to trademarking the name Dogepalooza, and to securing all the social media as well. And then the rest is kind of history at this point.
Wow. I didn't actually know that, Greg. That's actually really, really cool. Just kind of stumbling upon it and being like, I have this idea, right? I wanna build on that. And look at you. You've literally built on it, and it's actually happening, and it's becoming a reality, as we'll discuss kind of later within the podcast. But I mean, it's just insane what you're doing, and I really, really, really admire you. Like, just listening to kind of
Oh,
how you've been handling things, and kind of like just pushing, what we really want as a Doge community, which is community at the end of the day, right?
exactly. I agree with you. And the interesting thing too is people don't realize this. We have only been doing this for 4 weeks. And we have done literally 4 months or more of work in 4 weeks. These things normally take a year, year and a half to pull off and do. And we're going to pull this off in like 5 months or less. And it's because of the community. And it's because of the support and love of the community. It's because of everybody, you know, joining together as one to make this happen. It's not, about any one of us. It's about all of us. And without the team members, the core team members, the other team members, the volunteers, everybody in the community, this would have never happened. And I'll tell you this also: without Twitter Spaces, I could have never assembled the most amazing team that I've assembled for this. I mean, we've got Coco, who is one of the most amazing spokespersons I've ever seen, and I'm so honored and privileged to have her as a spokesperson. We've got Sadie, who is so brilliant at business and marketing and strategy, and just puts in so many tireless hours behind the scenes. We've got Siggy, who's out front, ambassador to the community, talking to everybody, getting them pumped up, helping us make connections that we need to make this happen. And then most importantly, we've got people like you guys that are helping give us some light to what we're doing. Benzinga, who wrote that amazing article that helped just shoot us to the moon and the stratosphere and beyond. And then also the community itself, who has just welcomed us with open arms, love, and support. And I've never been more proud to work, 18, 20-hour days than I am for the Doge community. I love everyone in the community, and we just can't thank you all enough.
And honestly, thank you, Greg. We do appreciate everything you're doing, and I know those that are going to be listening will also appreciate the work that you've been putting into this. And Thank you for being a strong member of the Doge community, as well as the rest of you, part of the core team. I want to go ahead and go to Sadie next, right? So Sadie, you've become basically, his. It's on his off. That's okay. Um, Sadie, I kind of want to go back to you regarding, being the kind of the right hand man of Greg. You've been part of the kind of main core team as the team manager for quite a while now. And I do kind of want to know, how did you get started with that? How did you meet Greg, and where did it kind of blossom into like this new sort of like I'm going to be your partner, we're going to make this happen.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for having me, Kyle and Danny. It's awesome to be here on the Weekly D podcast with you guys.
Thank you for
Yeah, it's kind
coming.
of a cool story. We got an I found Dogecoin at the end of January, and I didn't know anything about crypto, knew nothing about it. So I hopped online, on YouTube and Reddit, and I started learning about it, and I ran across Dogecoin. I'm like, oh, look at this. This is a cute little dog and a coin, and it's really,
Did we lose her?
I think we lost her.
So we'll go back to Sadie
Mhm.
because I do want to hear more about that. So I'm going to go to Signature next. So Signature, you kind of got started with Dogecoin. You're actually one of the first people I met on the Twitter Spaces. What brought you to be interested in Dogecoin? How'd you even like find this community?
I appreciate the question there, Kyle, and thank y'all again for having me on the Weekly D podcast. So I have an interesting story. Last year, 2020, at the beginning of March, my brother had reached out to me and said, "You know what? We got to get you into some stocks." Fortunately for me, I did not even know that it was like one of the worst crashes in a long time. Secured the bag, bought into a lot of good companies at an early time at a really great entry point, and then around December, I liquidated all of my positions and took profit, and just kind of was just wondering what to do. Well, at that point, because of COVID and because of the whole lockdown and the political division and everything that was going on in the world, innately was looking for something that I could be a part of, finding that joy, the camaraderie, the love, the kindness, trying to just find another home outside of what I was doing. And a coworker of mine had mentioned to me, like, hey, have you ever heard of Dogecoin? And I had seen it, using the Robinhood app, me in particular. And, and so what I did is I said, you know what, let me do a little bit of DD myself. I want to do some research. And he was like, well, you got to check out this subreddit. And that's where I stumbled upon it. Went to the Dogecoin subreddit, and the first thing that I saw was a meme of two women saying, "You keep saying, you always keep saying that Dogecoin's gonna hit $1," and the cat's like, "I say that every day." I immediately fell in love with it, and I just started scrolling down this Reddit page, and the memes were just coming and going, and I was like, okay. And I tend to say, like, I didn't find the Doge community; it found me, and ever since I stumbled upon that, I basically took everything that I had made from the stock market, all my gains, and I just YOLO'd everything. I took out a little bit of money in my savings, and I felt so compelled to want to support the community and be a part of it, because I saw that, okay, this right here, the momentum, the love, and everything that came around with it, I want to be a part of that. And so I basically, at that point, just went on to Robinhood and made my purchase, and I haven't touched a penny ever since. I look at myself as more of a Doge collector now, instead of I call myself a long-term hodler, but I've become more of a collector just because that's the type of mindset that I'm in. So and you know what? After that, I was never a big social media person, but I had seen in the subreddit, like, people mentioning about Twitter. I made an account. Signature Doge was born, and you know what? Then I started to just step into spaces, right? And I was listening, and it was amazing how much information and education that I got in those first 3 or 4 weeks. I was hooked. I had found this inspiration to just want to learn more and become a part of a new industry, right? Like cryptocurrency. And it really just, I've never looked back, and as I began to just listen more and ask questions and make mistakes, I felt more comfortable talking about it, did my own research about blockchain, and I could go on and on and on, but yeah, after like listening to some of the spaces there, like I knew this was my new home, and I'm so glad that it found me.
That's awesome, man. And we're glad I found you too. I mean, that's amazing. Personally love the Twitter Spaces. Like I just like you, Siggy, I've learned so much about Doge. Things that I never thought. I never even thought of, and I've learned them in those Twitter Spaces. So it's really cool that that's how you stumbled upon it, and you learn more. You guys do great Twitter talks. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that, and I'll tell you what too is that it's compelled me to want to give back to the community. The
Hmm.
community has given me so much, right? And it just makes me want to just help other people become more financially literate and understand about what the intent of cryptocurrency originally was and how this Shiba Inu has captured the attention of the world and has brought people from a global perspective all into the same space. And if there's a merger now of the subreddit and also Twitter and other social media platforms as really just a global movement, and just super happy and proud and honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And honestly, we're really glad to, of course, have you be a part of it. And to go off of that, doing only good every day, right? That's the name of the game, right? And that's what Doge is, right? It's doing only good every day. And I mean, I see that for both you, Coco, Greg, and Sadie within the spaces. Coco especially just always continues to like impress me with the amount of like knowledge she brings to the table when it comes to mental health and kind of just pushing that, and that's always appreciated. And Siggy, like having just genuine conversations with you like over Twitter Spaces is always really beneficial, and I feel like I get a lot out of it when I have those conversations with you. Just to kind of go off of it too, so doing only good every day, is this kind of what kind of led you and interested you in Dogepalooza and being a part of that team?
I'm sorry, was that a question for me?
It was.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry, guys.
It's okay,
I
brother.
heard you say Coco's name, and I didn't want to step on there. Yeah, and that's one thing I forgot to leave out, and I think that's the most important is that when I actually looked up what the acronym of Doge meant and seeing that it was do only good every day, um, I'm a very open person. I know that people I don't try to preach, but with my life though is that I've been doing only good every day before I even fell into the community, and that's my relationship with the God of my understanding. And so when I found out what the acronym meant and the power behind it, and going into the Twitter space and seeing the love, the community, the camaraderie, the fellowship, right? Being a part of a community that will lift you up when you are having those bad days and also celebrate with you when you're having great days, right? Well, what ended up happening is that as I'm going through this motion, and it's just I'm getting fed through a fire hose. Um, I believe that I got a DM from Greg and Sadie, if I'm not mistaken, and they had reached out to me and said, "Hey, we'd like to have a conversation with you." Got on a phone call with them, and I was like, "Yes." After they explained to me what they wanted to do in regards to helping to promote the community, obviously, try to gain interest around the world, and have adoption, right? So we can help further the movement. But what it came down to is that when they told me that the outside of the operational costs, that the revenue generated would go to local, regional, and national charities, that's when that was the green light for me. And I said, you know what? I want to do this. I want to help support the cause any which way I can. And um, yeah, the rest is kind of just it's kind of history for me.
That's freaking awesome, Siggy. And it's really awesome to kind of hear that you've just been like, I mean, like I see, like I said, I see you in spaces all the time, right? Like we're on all the time. I see you all the time. And like you're just pushing the do only good day narrative, or do only good everyday narrative has just been really, really awesome to see. And like the love you have for Dogepalooza and like what you've been pushing, like it's kind of what piqued my interest. If we're being honest, you're one of the reasons that I did the research on Dogepalooza to begin with. And so it's awesome to like kind of have a conversation with you like regarding that. And yeah, I keep doing what you're doing, man, and just keep pushing. And pushing that do only good everyday aspect and keep talking in the Twitter spaces. Do not give up on those Twitter spaces. Like I love hearing you talk when you can, when you're able to. So it's very much appreciated. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'll tell you what is that because of this experience, I've had the opportunity to be there for individuals that I've never met in real life, but having a conversation with them and also making myself aware that the things that we say, we never know what kind of impact that can have on somebody's life. And when we have these discussions, and I love going to Coco's space, and I love going to these positive talks, right? Because I see people who are introverted, for example, begin to open up and begin to blossom, right? And they find that courage and that confidence to be able to speak their truth, right? And it's extremely inspiring. And I will make a commitment that I will never stop pushing the do only get a good everyday movement part of the community. Is that because that's what keeps me here. It's you. It's Coco. It's Greg. It's Sadie. It's the Sincere Doge space. I got lots of love for that family over there. I when some days when I feel bad, man, like I don't always have a good day. But what I found though is that it's therapeutic for me to go into a space of people who have a genuine love and care about me as an individual, as a person, and they see through the avatar, right? They get to know me, and I get to know them too, and I love hearing their story. I can't tell you how many times I've joined a space not having a good day, and I've turned that frown upside down. I've laughed, I've cried with people. I've it just it's left such an impression on me that I am compelled to want to just give back to the community so much because I have received so much as well. So I appreciate you saying that though, man. Is that folks like you inspire me to want to continue to do more and also give other people the opportunity who may feel like they don't have a voice in the community and the platform to do so, right? Is that there's a lot of people who want to engage and they want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and I just feel so honored to be able to facilitate those discussions with the core team members, for example, and take ideas from the community and initiatives and dreams. And if I have an opportunity to channel that energy, that positive energy, and actually work the way through what we're doing here and manifest that, man, how could I ever have a bad day, right? Like this is just beautiful. So again, thank you very much for having me here.
Of course, man. No, thank you for being here. It's very much appreciated. And, the weekly podcast is once again very, very glad to have you all on here.
Yes, yes.
Um, Go
Of
ahead. Go
course.
ahead, Dave.
No, I was just gonna say, like I was saying, we are very happy to have you on here. All y'all inspire us every day. We both, Kyle more than me. Like we're listening to the Twitter Spaces, listening to y'all talk. I really wish I would have heard Coco's mental health day today, because some days you have good days, some days you have bad days, and when you see your dose go down a little bit and you're having a bad day, you start getting in your head a little bit. So I'm kind of sad I missed that out today. But for real, all y'all inspire us. All y'all are doing amazing things. Greg being a visionary with Dogepalooza, Coco doing her mental health talks, as well as educating us on Doge, just like Sig. And it's just amazing. Like I can't tell you how grateful I am just to have the chance to talk to you all today. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you so much. I just want to thank both Kyle and Danny for inviting Dogepalooza and myself, our whole team, our core team, part of our core team, onto the Weekly D podcast. We are so honored to be here with you guys. You guys do amazing work. We love your show. We definitely support you guys in any way we can. And just want to thank both you all for inviting us on to spread the message about Dogepalooza so that we can actually help more people in the community, uplift more people, bring more people together, onboard new businesses and charities into the Doge community, and also, more importantly, give back to all the charities that deserve it and that have been having a difficult time for the past 18 months because of COVID. And this is a way that we can truly give back and change the world. This is bigger than all of us. This is a movement around the globe that is going to change the world forever for the positive, to give back, uplift, and light, and just spread love, community, and do only good everyday spirit around the world. Thank you all.
Thank you, Greg. Next, I do want to go to Coco. Coco, like I said, I've definitely cheered on your chats quite a bit. I really like being in those spaces. I always feel very welcome, and that's something I really greatly appreciate. And I feel like I said, I do get a lot out of those spaces, especially when the conversation is around mental health and kind of having those conversations. So I just kind of want to go start with it. Kind of a similar question to Sig. Kind of where did you start with the Dogecoin journey? Like, how did you jump into Dogecoin and cryptocurrency in general? And what ended up bringing you to Dogepalooza?
Well, first, thank you both for having me on. I really appreciate it. And, I'm just grateful to be able to kind of come up here and talk with you guys because we talk in Twitter spaces a lot. So being able to come on your guys' platform is definitely a new experience. So I'm happy to be here. For me, I got started back in 2016 with cryptocurrency just in general, but also at the same time it was Dogecoin. And how I found them was on the Robinhood platform. And I had Coinbase, I had a few cryptocurrencies, and I remember thinking, they just added cryptocurrency. Why did they add, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ether, and then Dogecoin, which at the time was considered a joke coin? It wasn't considered like a real currency yet. And so I said, well, maybe Robinhood knows something I don't, because why would they, Coinbase has like hundreds of them, and Robinhood is only having four, and Dogecoin is one of them. So to me, it was like, oh, they know something that I don't. So I started investing back then. What got me really into investing was I got officially sick and with lupus back in 2014 and had to stop working, and so it was kind of a new experience just being home all the time. I said, well, what, I'm going to use this time wisely and pick up some the things I've always wanted to learn more about and just try to keep my mind busy, and that was definitely investing. I had an uncle that got me started back when I was a little kid, and he had bought me my first stock. And so after that, I was just always interested. I'm always found myself watching the stock ticker at home, run across the MSNBC, TV show. And so I just remember being interested my whole life. So I took time, I took classes, I was reading, I was watching videos, and just so interested in it. Like, it really caught my attention. And because I've never been good at math, I've always been horrible at math, but something about the finance industry just always intrigued me. And so being able to get into that was exciting. And it wasn't till probably, I think maybe November, that I was like, you know what? I was like, well, I never really looked up Dogecoin online, and I was just becoming more active on Twitter. Never really used mine very much. And so when I got on there and started looking up the hashtag Dogecoin, I was like, oh my gosh, this community is really cool. It's like, oh, look at these memes. They're hilarious. And I just found myself laughing all the time. And I was like, oh God, this feels like good to my spirit. Just like all the things that make me laugh. And the community seems super friendly. And just started talking with people, got to meet, a few of the developers and built a friendship with them. And I was just like, God, I love this community. I love this really amazing sense of like family. It's kind of like Cheers, everybody knows your name kind of thing. And that's how it felt with the Dogecoin community. It just felt like, wow, this feels like this is different, because I had seen other communities and been like, yeah, they're just about the finance. They're just about, the price and the technical analysis. And that's all fun and games, but truthfully, it wasn't fun. And so when I found Dogecoin, I was like, this feels like fun. This makes me want to learn more about finance. This makes me want to be more involved in a community. And I loved the saying of do only good every day. Not what maybe that exact thing, but I always kind of tried to live my life like that ever since I got sick with, is what I'm doing, giving good back into the world, and it just kind of, made me reevaluate how I looked at life. And so once I started hosting spaces, I wasn't expecting it to be an overnight success. And I had a investor place write an article after my very first chat. And so the pressure was on. I was like, oh man, like I wasn't expecting this, but I better make something of it while I have it. And so, just been hosting my chats ever since. And, you know, at first I was trying to make everything, a lot about Dogecoin, but then I'm like, that life isn't just all about investing in finance. We have a lot of other things that we experience outside of life. And during COVID, mental health was a really big issue for a lot of people. And so being able to, try to use those spaces for more than just, to teach about finance or to use it for a purpose and a cause and to try and help people at the same time was like a blessing in disguise. So being able to, just get on spaces and talk to people from all around the world and hear their struggles and hear their pain and hear their frustrations. It was a really eye-opening experience. And so that's why I've been trying to, mix up my new investor chats and my Dogecoin chats with, mental health chats. And I feel like they're so important. And we have a lot of people that make up the community. And so being able to help and spread a light on all those people is really important to me. So, I'm super grateful that I found Dogecoin because, it really, even with my mental health struggles, it's helped a lot. So I'm very grateful to find Dogecoin. It's been amazing.
Honestly, Coco, it's one of those things like and just so you know too, I have a really close friend who's really close to my wife. She actually just got married recently, who also struggles with lupus, and deals with it every day. So we've kind of
Right.
seen it. It's something that's hard, and it's something that it's taxing on the body, and like, I I wish you the absolute best, and like I'm definitely praying for you, and I hope it just continues to kind of ease as it goes through. I know it's not something, if I'm not mistaken, it's not something that like is curable, correct? It's something that like you will deal with.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, it's not curable, but that's exactly why, donating to Lupus Foundation, that has always been so important to me because, there's only I think just one or two medicines specifically meant for lupus. And so it's very hard to, they don't have the funding that they need to, but people with lupus are just, the cases are getting more and more all the time. And so we
Mhm.
need to find more solutions for them because lupus can vary from, very mild to very severe. I got started out being diagnosed with one form and then all three forms over, a total of a few years.
Wow.
And so it was very difficult. I watched myself go from being super active, going to the gym all the time, being really, really just outgoing and active to, just being bedridden a lot. And so that was a really hard thing for me. But, that's why I say I'm grateful I found Doge because when I really was just kind of struggling, being able to find people that I could still connect with, even during the pandemic and during just being stuck in the house all the time, it was definitely a blessing. I was just like, wow, okay, I found another family. And even if I'm having a bad day or, not doing so well, I can sit and talk to, people all around the world and just connect with people. So that means a lot to me.
Hmm. And honestly, like it's one of those things that like we're as a community, and I'm gonna keep saying it, even though I'm saying it to all you guys, that we really appreciate like these kind of conversations and having a conversation of like with people who don't necessarily live the same lifestyle that other people live, and kind of understanding that some people have to deal with things in their life, and even with that, they're still kind of pushing, and they're living, you know what I mean, like they're truly living their life, and what you do, like Coco, is really like, again, I'm going to say it again, admirable. And it's something that like you're just very much greatly appreciated within the community, just from all of us. All of us will tell you, when it comes to Sincere Doge, to Danny, to Pickle Nick, like all of us like really appreciate you, and we hope that you continue to remain active within the community as well. And any chance to donate to the Lupus Foundation, like we would be open to doing that as well, even if it's just a small donation, because like I said,
I
like,
love that.
yeah, I have a
Because even a small amount helps. And I always tell people that, and if you can't give, money, I always tell people then just tweet about it, use your voice, use anything you can. Cause, I know what it's been like when you have that caring heart, but the wallet doesn't match. And so you just gotta try to find other ways to support. So that's deeply appreciated.
Of course, of course. And so I guess to kind of go off of that, so when it comes to Dogepalooza, this event, right? This event's starting to become bigger and bigger every day. And you happen to kind of find your way here, and you became a member of the core team. How'd you do that? Like, who did you meet first? What brought you to this kind of like place?
So actually, like I think it was on my first call, I met Sadie, and she just was like so sweet and so kind, and I had just built a friendship with her, and so it was just a very we just easily just slipped into being friends. It was like we had been friends for a long time. So first I met her, and then I had my businesses and charities chat, and Dogepalooza had reached out asking if they could talk a little bit, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, and we had them on the chat, and they told us a lot about it. I was like, wow, this sounds just like really cool. I was like, I love this idea. And I loved that it was centered around charity. That meant a lot to me because I love something that's not only by the people for the people, but is giving back. And so that's to me what just really drew me to it. I'm meeting Greg. He's just as you guys know, he's just so amazing and so kind. And truthfully, we couldn't have a better person behind the scenes just running things. And him and Sadie just do such a good job. I'm always telling them, take a break, don't go and get rest, because they really do will stay up hours and hours and hours just doing so much work, and they're doing this for free. So it just it makes it all more appreciative that they're doing all this hard work. So they've been such a great team, and they've helped me so much. I couldn't ask to work with better people. And Signature, I've known Signature for a while. He's him and I have a lot in common, and so we've been really good friends as well. And he's just always been so kind, and I love going into to Sincere's room, because they just, for me, I've learned to navigate which rooms I like and which ones I don't. And I like the ones that are more positive and uplifting and really funny and laid back. And so if I'm not doing one of my own chats, I'll go into theirs, and it's just really always a good time, and everybody's so fun, and I love that it just really feels like family. Like once you've been in the chat a few times, they're saying, okay, we love you guys, bye. Like you don't get that with a lot of places, but they show so much love.
I honestly, you probably see me. I'm in Sincere Doja space all the time. I legitimately like love all those people. Like those are my people. Like they feel like family to me. Especially like there's like I'm going through a point right now. Just personally where my family's not as close as we used to be. We're working on it, of course. But in the meantime, like my family has been the Doge family in a lot of ways, and we've been working on just continuing to kind of like build on that. And Nelson Sincere Doge has been freaking amazing. Like just being like a staple within the community. If I'm having a bad day, willing to talk to me about it, and just being able to like be somebody who's like legitimately there is really cool.
Well, I love, honestly, everybody in that room. I think honestly what's amazing is that, just in such a short amount of time, they made it feel like family in there, like really like family. And so those are the kind of rooms that I like where, even if you have new people come in, you make them feel like family. And that's what's so, amazing about it. And that's what makes people feel good, because I also am in a similar situation where just family stuff is hard. And so you just having that other outlet where you still feel like you have family, but they're just across the world or across the United States. And but that's the beautiful part about these Twitter spaces, that there's no limit on who can come in and talk. Everybody can come and say what they want to say. They can say hello, they can meet new friends. I think we all can say we have met some lifelong friends in the Doge community, because I've always said, like, even if I had no stake in Doge, I would 100% stay just for the people and the friends that I've made, because those are priceless, 100% priceless.
Absolutely agree. And like I said, like I hope I continue to see you guys in more spaces and see you, Coco, in more Sincere Doja spaces, because I don't know, I feel like that you fit in with the community very well there as well. So you're always welcome within those spaces. Not just from LSU me, but that's not, I mean, it's not saying much, but you're always welcome to come in and hang out with us.
I always love, if I ever am not in my own rooms, like I'm always trying to go in Sincere's room. It really is like it's like a home away from home. So if I'm not doing a space, that's where I'm at.
Perfect. And thank you, Coco, again for speaking. It's very much appreciated. And thank you for the work you guys are putting into Dogepalooza. Lastly, we have Sadie. Sadie. Um, so we're editing this in post, but we actually had Sadie a second in line, but Sadie is going through a storm right now, so she may kind of go in and out a little bit. So don't be surprised if this does happen. But Sadie, thank you for being on the show again. I do want to kind of discuss. You are legitimately the right hand man or right hand woman of Greg here. The founder of Dogepalooza. How did that happen? How did you find Dogecoin? How did you find Dogecoin?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys. I just want to thank you guys for having us today on the Weekly D podcast, Kyle and Dan. It's very awesome. I'm very honored to be here with you guys. And, Dogecoin, I found Dogecoin in January. And originally, I actually, with AMC and GME all over the news, I was like, what's going on? And I started researching that and stocks. I never owned a stock before, or I didn't know anything about crypto. And I started, jumping into Reddit and YouTube and learning about crypto and stocks. And I ran across Dogecoin and I thought, oh, this is cute. There's a cute little dog on a coin. And oh, this looks neat, And I thought something told me like something was different about this. So I learned how to, download a wallet. I learned out, about blockchain, and it's a lot of information to wrap around your brain. But I eventually did it and I started buying. And then I started realizing that people were talking about on YouTube, they were talking about Elon, and, he tweets and tweets. And I was like, oh, I guess I should probably get on Twitter. I had an account, but I had never really been on Twitter before. So I made my account there and I just searched for Dogecoin and I started following everybody that had Dogecoin. And then I started realizing, wow, like these people are really cool. Like they're so loving and just a really good vibe. And they're so caring. So I fell in love with the community. At first, I'm not going to lie, I got into Dogecoin to see if I could make some money, but then I got on Twitter and I found all of these awesome people. And I didn't really care anymore about the value of Dogecoin because the community was just so awesome. I found Coco. She was one of the first people that I started following, and we developed an awesome relationship. And Signature also, I think I met Signature in Spaces when Spaces came out. And, there was one space, I think it was Sincere Doge's space. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it was, where we were talking about, Dogecoin and having fun and just goofing around. And I got an idea. I was driving at the time and I got an idea. I was like, oh, what if we made like a festival, like a Woodstock type of festival? And I pulled over and I was like, hey, you guys, because I was speaking on there on the panel. And I said, you guys, what do you guys think about the Woodstock type festival where we can all get together and meet each other? And everybody was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be so fun if we can have a modern day Woodstock, And apparently there was somebody in there who was already following the Dogepalooza account. And he reached out to Greg, the Dogepalooza account, and said, hey, there's this girl that has some really cool ideas. And I think you guys should talk because you're the, official Dogecoin festival. And I had my DMs on Twitter closed. So he couldn't message me. And it wasn't until the business and charities chat with Coco where I was there and she had some charities and businesses up there talking about, how to accept crypto and talking about Dogecoin. And Dogepalooza popped up to speak. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I started following him. And immediately after the chat ended, he messaged me and said, hey, would you like to talk? I heard that, have some cool ideas about a festival. And I was like, oh, heck yeah, yeah, absolutely. I was ready to get the information out because I was just busting to the seams with it. I was excited about it. And we ended up talking on the phone and I was like, yeah, I thought I was just going to offer, my ideas, like, take my ideas, run with it. And then he asked me, would you like to be a part of the team? And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Okay, awesome. I don't know what that means, but cool. Like I'm part of the community. I love everybody here. Absolutely.
Little
and it
did you
kind
know.
of, yeah, little did I know that this would happen. And this is literally, you guys, 5 weeks ago. at
Wow.
today, 5 weeks ago. And we have done so much, and we're so proud of everybody in the community. They've been so helpful. The core team members are just amazing. Greg is amazing. He's the best person to be doing this. He has so much experience, and he's definitely leading the charge in the background. But I am kind of the right hand woman, as you said. So where Greg is, I am. If he's on a call, I'm on a call. So we're definitely a duo in that respect. So it's just been a lot of fun with everybody. Dogecoin has been, I don't know, I want to say it's been life-changing for me. After the last year and a half, it's been so hard with COVID and being stuck inside and everything else, and everybody just wants to get out and live life again. And I feel like this is the first kind of big event that we can do for the community, where we can, all meet each other from Twitter and meet in real life and have a good time. So that's what I'm really happy about what's happening. I'm so excited about this event, and we're going to be continuing to do more in the future.
That's really cool though. How you just you came up with an idea, got to meet really cool people, never expected to be in the position you're in now, and then bam,
Yeah,
you're the right hand
yeah.
woman for Dogepalooza. I mean that's amazing. That's awesome. One thing I've learned by listening to the spaces and just talking to you guys right now is like Doge is more than just a meme coin. It's more than just cryptocurrency. It's community. It's a movement. Like it. I think to me that's one of the like coolest parts about Doge. It's not just a coin. It's bringing people together. It's making families. It's a whole movement, and I'm all for it. Like that's amazing. That's really cool. I have a question for Greg. Like since you came up with the idea, how did you start deciding? Okay, like these are the people I want to be on my team, or like how did that come about?
Sure. That's a great question. With my 30 plus years experience in the entertainment industry and producing every type of thing from film, TV, music, and et cetera, and working on large projects and stuff, as leading those type of projects and producing those type of things and producing concerts and events and stuff, festivals as well, you learn very quickly over the years of how to find people that have the talent and skills that you're looking for, and being able to spot that like very quickly, because sometimes you may come across somebody and talk to them for a few seconds and you have to know, ooh, would that person be good? And then you meet another person, you're like, come across them and you talk to them, and oh, will those two people work together? Can they do what we need them to do? So having that from my background helped. And then, like I said, Twitter spaces, without this, it would have taken us a lot longer to do what we've done. Twitter Spaces has actually sped up the process faster than I've ever been able to do an event of this caliber and this level and this size, because I was able to network very quickly, listen to people talk in spaces, DM them, talk to them, voice chat to voice chat, one on one on in the space as well as outside of the space, and quickly see who had the skills and talent that is necessary and needed to pull this off. And so, you know, I met Coco and she invited me on her business and charities chat. Um, I saw how amazing she runs those chats, what a great spokesperson she is for the community and for Dogecoin, and what just an amazing human being she is, and what she goes through on a daily basis. And she just still puts a smile on her face and still uplifts everybody and just comes on and just brightens everybody's day. So I knew I had to have her as a spokesperson, no matter what it took, because she is the greatest, the best person. There's nobody better or more fit for this than her. She was born to do this and meant to do this. And then when I came across Sadie, and like Sadie said, there was a person who had heard me speak and heard me talk about some of my background experiences and what my deal was for Dogepalooza. I knew when they said to me, "You got to talk to this girl," and she's got these ideas too, and y'all can maybe work together. I actually heard her speak on the business and charities chat, but then I really heard her speak more on the women in crypto chat that Coco did, and that chat was amazing to get to hear all the women and their stories and how they got into crypto. And it was a great idea that Coco had to do that chat. And I heard Sadie on that chat and I was so impressed with her. I was like, I got to talk to her. The chat went really long, which was cool because everybody, was doing their personal stories after the first part of the chat. And that's always great and fun in Coco's room because you have those stories and you get to hear everybody's story. And that's always nice to know. And so then we decided to talk not that night, but the next day. And when we talked, I just knew that I was right about her too. And so that's how that happened. I just said, "Hey, I want you a part of this. This is what we need to do. Let's just go." And that's what I've done with everybody. It's like, I tell them, "Look, I'd like you to be a part of this. If you want to, let's get on board and let's just make this happen for the community." And then Signature, I met him in a couple of the rooms. And one night, we had gone in, he had opened up a space and I'd gone in there. It was just a couple of people and we got to talk and we became like good friends in there and we had a good time and it was chill and relaxing. And that's what's nice about Signature's room. It's you kind of get a break and it's kind of chill and it's just like a few close friends, having a conversation. And that's really awesome and great. And he's an amazing guy and he's incredibly talented. And when I heard what he does and what he can do for the team, I was like, I gotta have him too. And it's been like that for everybody, like him, Nick, Pickle Nick, as you all call him, as well as like everyone else on the core team, like Little Mook. He had it was kind of interesting. Sadie had seen he had posted something about doing a Doge Fest or festival or something. And we're like, we got to talk to him right away. So Sadie and I both reached out to him. He was like, "Hey, yeah, let's talk." And so we exchanged numbers. We called him right away, three-way, the three of us, and we talked to him. And after he heard not only our mission and what we're doing, but how much research and stuff we did it. Because when I first came up with the idea, I secured the domain name, I secured all the social media, I secured. We set up the corporation incorporated, the LLC, we filed the trademark, but we did all this stuff to protect it. And also, I looked at other names, but they were fragmented. They weren't. You couldn't get the domain name and all the social media, and some of them were all owned by different people, and they had some other stuff that corporations would be turned off against posted on some of their pages. So I was like, and dealing with corporations and knowing what these Fortune 100 companies and brands look for, I knew that it has to be a consistent message. It must be a family friendly, family oriented message. And you have to have control of all the social media and can have outliers out there that aren't going to convey that same message, or you're going to lose sponsors and stuff. And that's the worst thing that could happen. And so that's why we put so much effort into every decision we make to benefit the community, protect the community, to protect the brand, protect not only Dogepalooza, but the Dogecoin, the Doge family, so that we do this right. We're the first ones that do it. It's done right. Then the brands and the companies will support Doge for here on out. So that's why all of us are working so hard for free to make this happen and do that.
Be impressed by the work that you guys do. I don't know. It's really cool. And thank you for answering that question for Daniel, Greg. That does kind of give us more of an idea of kind of like, how do you pick these guys? And if somebody, hypothetically speaking, wanted to be a volunteer and or part of the team for Dogepalooza, how do they go about doing that exactly?
Sure, it's a great question. We welcome not only anyone that wants to help and be a part of Dogepalooza and support us in that way, whether whatever the skill or um, volunteer job they want to do for us, that's great. We welcome that, as well as what we'll do is you can DM any of us on the team. You can, the best way though, besides DMing us, because all of our DMs do get quite busy, is the really best way is to go on our website. We currently have a website that was just put up. We're working on the real nice, good website. We've got an amazing logo already built. We've got a pitch deck and 2-sheeter built to, and the website's going to match all that. We just haven't released any of that yet. We're working on it, and hopefully very soon, in the next week or 2 weeks, the website will be up, as long as everything goes well. But what they can do currently is they can go to our current website, Dogepalooza.com. There are forms on there to fill out if you want to volunteer, attend, if you want to be a band or artist, if you want to be a sponsor or a vendor. We have forms for that. So if they go there, they fill out the vendor form. I mean, the sponsor or the volunteer form. Sorry about that. They go to our website, they fill out the volunteer form, and then Sadie and I will be getting those. Sadie handles that for us. She'll look over those. And it's also good to email Sadie at Dogepalooza.com, and they can copy me at the same time so we both see it. Greg at Dogepalooza.com. And then that way we will get in touch with them and find out what they want to do, how they can do, and how we can help them integrate into working with us and supporting this great cause and event.
That's awesome. And just so everyone knows, for those listening in on this podcast today, we will also link the current website, which is the Dogepalooza.com website. It will be linked in the description of our podcast below. So that way, if you want to check it out, want to volunteer, have a band that you want to, showcase, join the link, sign up the volunteer form, and maybe you'll get a call from Greg and Sadie.
Yeah.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I do want to go ahead and ask a few more questions before we go on to our next announcement, basically. So I guess we're going to go into this. So let's go ahead and start with, I guess everybody, but we'll go ahead and start with Greg. Greg, what has been one of the biggest challenges you've faced so far when it comes to building up Dogepalooza?
With regard to building up, I haven't had that many difficult challenges because, like I said, Twitter Spaces is truly amazing. It's like the greatest networking recruiting tool on the planet, and I just can't thank Twitter enough for that. But the biggest challenge I think that I've dealt with personally so far is more about trying to make sure that we get everybody in the community heard, that we reach out to them, and spending the days talking as much to as many people as possible. And I lost my voice. So that's been the biggest challenge, was losing my voice and then not being able to talk as much, to interact with the community, to get more information, to help it be the biggest, best community event that it could be. So that's kind of been the hardest challenge for me, was losing my voice and not being able to talk as much to reach out to the community. That's probably my biggest challenge. But everything else, it's been amazing. It's been better than any event I've ever done. It's been long hours, hard days, but it's worth every bit of it because I love this community. I love everybody in it. And we love the charities and the businesses that we're helping. And besides the charities and stuff that we're donating back to, we're providing an opportunity for businesses to grow their brands, expose their brands on a national and world level because of that exposure from the Benzinga article and then the quote from Elon Musk that was in that article. It just has given us the ears and eyes of the world so we can help small businesses, people in the community that are struggling and starting over because they got laid off or fired or let go from their business and they're starting something new. It's enabling us to be able to launch their businesses in a way that no one has ever been able to do before. And it's just so amazing that we can do that for the community. And then also we have artists and bands in the community that want to perform and want to get their craft out there and their music out there. And we want to showcase their talents by giving them the opportunity to be on that main stage, be on that stage that the big A-list artists are on, and Grammy Award winners and icons and legends are on. And we're doing that for the community because we love the community. We're trying to give back as much as possible and uplift everybody.
That is amazing. Every time I hear you speak, Greg, my mind gets blown with the vision you have for this. That's just amazing. That's all I can say about that.
Oh, thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate that. And, our vision is to take this, not just this one event, but we're going to do this all over the country, the United States. We're going to go to various cities throughout the United States. We're also going to go all over the world, and different countries and cities around the world. We have teams in 8 countries already set up with the same caliber and level and skill and experience that our team in America does, but in those countries. And so it's been amazing. And that's what Twitter Spaces has helped us do, is create those teams and form those friendships and form those bonds and create something that could have never been done without it. And not only are we going to do large concerts and events and festivals, but we're going to do smaller ones too, more intimate ones, like maybe a little club one, maybe different type of atmosphere one, like in a park, or with a smaller number of people, not as big, not as over the top, but still impactful, because we can onboard new charities and new businesses in the local areas. We can onboard and get new users using Dogecoin. So our mission, our goal is to spread this all over the world in every way, and not just big but small and everywhere in between, so that everybody gets a chance to be a part of this, because this is truly a community driven event, and we want the whole community to be able to participate no matter where you live.
That's amazing. And just so I guess we're clear for our listeners, for now, the only thing Dogepalooza for 2021 right now is going to be this event, correct? The current Dogepalooza in Texas event. The rest of what the A teams are working on is for 2022, correct?
Yes, the teams around the world are working for 2022 due to COVID reasons and stuff. In several countries, there's lockdowns still and stuff, and those can adjust and change based on what's going to happen with COVID over the next year. So we may have to make adjustments based on that, if there's flare ups or if there's more openings somewhere else. So we'll do that as it comes. Right now, we're focused on making this the biggest, best event. Now that doesn't mean that after this event and we all get it like a much needed rest, which I'm sure we'll all need, that we don't come back, late October, November, and maybe, plan something for New Year's or something else. I don't know yet, but anything's possible with this team, because we have the most amazing team possible and we can pull off anything. So this right now is the only event, but I can't guarantee that for you for this year. So, it could be more. You never know. We're full of surprises.
Perfect. We're really excited. I mean, you can probably hear it in my voice at this point, at least our audio listeners. I am just absolutely just extremely excited about this event coming up. For one, it's going to be in my home state of Texas, which, shout out Texas. So I'll get to go home and, spend some time hopefully with some family, and then get to just enjoy Dogepalooza for what it is. So that's going to be awesome. I'd like to go ahead and go back to Sadie. So Sadie, you went ahead and like when we talked about like kind of what we did with Greg, some challenges that you've been facing as the team manager, as being the right hand man. What are some challenges that you've faced kind of going through this? And has it been something that obviously it's been something that's been easy to attain and kind of get past, right?
Yeah, it's been, like Greg said, it hasn't been hugely challenging. I feel like I was kind of built for this anyway. It's my passion. I'm very passionate about giving back to the community. I love the Dogecoin community. They're just a second family to me. And I love giving back. So I want to say, the one challenge that I probably could point out would be my sleep schedule. I'm not sleeping a whole lot, but I don't mind, because it doesn't feel like work. I mean, this is so much fun, the people that we're meeting, and it's just amazing the people that are out there in the world that are coming to us wanting to help. It's really awesome what we've seen. I want to say, too, along with the sleep schedule, we do have day jobs on top of it. So that's been a minor challenge, keeping up with that, as well as this. But again, I don't mind, because it's so much fun. We're on calls all the time, day and night. And I don't even like to call it sleep. We kind of take cat naps here and there, little power naps, so we can keep going. But I wouldn't even call it's not really a challenge. We're very passionate about this movement and about this event and the people in the community. I've just never seen anything like this before in my life. I really haven't. I haven't seen unity like this ever. And we're just so excited to get everybody together to give back to the charities. That's most important to us, giving back to the people and the charities, and have this event be centered around the community. It's built by the community, by the community, for the community, and that's what it's all about.
Agreed. And before we go to Coco and Siggy, I wanted to touch on something that you said. Like it being like Dogecoin and like this movement being the most united it's been. I can't disagree with that more. Like these past like few years have been so negative and divisive,
Yeah.
and like we won't go. We're not going to go into all that stuff. But I want to. I want to kind of mention, like it has been kind of a negative place. Like Twitter for a long time, and I don't know if any of you guys would agree, was a negative place. It was a place full of just anger and frustration and blind hatred over things that didn't matter at the end of the day. And it's just something that like I just have felt a shift, like at least personally, and from my account, and I know Daniel could probably attest.
Yeah,
It's just been.
You literally took the words out of my mouth, Kyle. Like I was gonna say the same thing, touching on what Sadie said. Like the unification through the Doge community has been amazing. Especially just like Kyle said, Twitter has been a very toxic place, and just to see what Twitter is now and how Twitter Spaces have helped build this up, build this community, and really help y'all organize this Dogepalooza event so quickly. It's mind blowing, to see how we're shifting from such a toxic place to a unified place, a place where everyone's helping everyone out. Where one of the biggest things of this event is to give back to charity, to give back to the people. Like that's all amazing. It's amazing to see what Doge has done for the people, and what you guys have been able to do with the movement as well.
Yeah, and what's amazing to me and what I think is so awesome is, you're all speaking of the toxicity on Twitter and stuff. And, there's been that, and there's even been it even on Spaces. But I will tell you this, if you go about it the right way, you can turn that negative into a positive. Because one night I was on a Twitter Space, there was toxicity, there was drama going on. And I was lucky enough to be one of the ones that got invited up to speak. And when I was able to get interject in between all that toxicity, I took a negative situation and turned it positive. Because what I did was I spoke on there and said, look, guys, we've got to come together as a community. The eyes of the world are watching us. We can't act like this. We need to grow up and be adults. And we need to work together, not against each other. And I can go out and get 10,000 charities to sign up to accept Doge. And I can get 10,000 businesses to do it. But if you don't work together and you're all fighting and fighting, it's not going to matter, because the charities and the businesses will leave and they won't stay. And if you don't spend your Doge, they will go also. You have to put your money where your mouth is. You want them to come, we bring them on board. You spend your money, you use your Doge coins to buy their goods and services. You donate to these charities, because I had onboarded a charity that was a no-kill animal shelter in Louisville, Kentucky, or in Oldham County, Kentucky, called the Humane Society of Oldham County. And they're a no-kill animal shelter who basically are volunteers working very hard to save animals, protect animals, and give them forever homes and heal them and help them when they're injured and sick. And they work tirelessly. They don't get support from these national humane societies. None of that happens. They have to get all the fundraising themselves. So with COVID and everything locked down, they were unable to fundraise and do that. And I'd already helped them raise money for their building and their land and stuff. And so they're on the next phase where they're trying to get the medical devices, the equipment for the surgery, the stuff that they need to take care of the animals, to fill out the furniture in the building and stuff like that, and the landscaping outside too. And I took that opportunity of negativity to say, look, I brought them on board, got them to set up a Twitter account because they didn't have one, because they don't have anybody to manage it or run it, because they can't afford it and they don't have time, because they're saving animals instead of being on Twitter. And so they set up that. They tried to set up with that giving block, which the American Cancer Society is using. But because they're a smaller 501c3, they don't qualify for the annual revenues required and the $2,600 fee a month or $2,500 fee a year, basically is not affordable to them. So I got them a wallet. Well, I didn't get it. I told them how to set it up, download it, all that. Told them to give me the code for it. They took a picture, gave it to me. We put it on there. I went on the business and charities thing with Coco and Spaces and talked, but nobody donated. And like 2 weeks later, finally, one person gave one Doge. It was worth like 30 something cents. But that charity was so excited because somebody gave them a crypto. And it was their first crypto. And it was Doge. And it was so exciting. And it had a dog on it. And they love animals. And they were thrilled for getting one Doge worth 33 cents at the time. It just made all of their days. And so I took that negative opportunity in Twitter space to say, hey guys, I did this and nobody donated. Well, you know what? That night of all that toxicity that was going on, I was able to get the community rallied behind. And this is why I love the Doge community. And I will lose my voice over and over again for them and do everything to make this the greatest event the world has ever seen. Because that night, with all that toxicity, the true spirit of the Doge community came out, and the do only good everyday spirit was shining bright because we raised $1,400 that night for that charity. And I can't thank this community more. That organization was blown away. They love it more than anything. They love the Doge community. I will do anything for the Doge community. Love you guys forever. Love everybody on our team, everybody in the community. And thank you all.
I didn't even know that. That's awesome. I had no idea you did that for Oldham County Animal Shelter. Dude, shout out to another Kentucky native, though. Greg is originally from Louisville, where I stay. So that's pretty freaking cool. But thanks for giving back to the community, man. And all of you guys, like, thank you guys for continuing to do that. Had I known that, I would have 100% did that as well. All right. And I kind of want to just go off of, Greg's conversation and kind of divert the question a little bit for Coco and Signature. So for those who have been in the Twitter spaces, we know that there have been a fair share of, negativity within the spaces. Sometimes people just want to be mad for whatever reason. And I know sometimes they attack members of the community, including people like, Siggy and Coco. Coco tends to get it quite a bit. So you guys can bounce this question off of each other if you'd like. But let's go ahead and start with Coco. How do you deal with the negativity within the spaces, and what's the best route to kind of combating that and making it turn into a positive? And Siggy, you can also bounce off Coco's conversation.
I would probably say, honestly, I didn't realize honestly how toxic Twitter can be until, because I had tried to get into Twitter and it just wasn't my thing. I was always on Instagram and other places. And then I don't know, back in I think November, I kind of got more active on Twitter and I was like, oh, okay, I like it a little bit better. And I liked it more because of the Doge community, because it was friendly and positive and fun. But then when Twitter Spaces got added, it was at first it was going well, and then you just saw this kind of shift where it was just started being a lot of negativity, just a lot of drama, and and to me it was this just doesn't feel like a good use of the spaces. It just doesn't feel like it's feeding any knowledge to anybody. It's not feeding anybody's soul. I'm not really sure what the purpose of this room is, and I feel like just because we have the ability to host a room, because not everybody does have that ability, we have to use our voice for good, because if we're just out here talking to talk, we're just kind of filling up space. We're not really feeding anybody's mind or their soul. So I just feel like it's important to have more positive spaces, and that's why I had my own kind of difficult time a few weeks ago, was having a lot of negativity online and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, people can be so mean, and people can be really just unkind and just really dramatic. And a lot of times, I'm a firm believer that, people hurt people hurt people. And so, a lot of times it's, people that are going through their own thing. And I've had a few people that were mean to me and then came back later and said, you know what, I was having a really bad day that day, and I kind of took it out on you, and I'm sorry about that. And so, I appreciate those people, and I actually almost always forgive those people, because I do think it's important for us to forgive. but it can be a lot on your mental health. And I found it was getting a lot for me at like, 1 week, and I was like, that's it. I just want to quit spaces. And talked to actually a few different people, and everybody made me feel a lot better. But one of the people who really lifted me up, his name is Jay Brown, and he's one of the AMC apes, and he is just such a positive, bright light. And he really just made me like, you know what? I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going to let them win and think that they can just beat me down with negativity and that I'll cave in, because that's what they want. So for me, it was just, I took a few days and I said, you know what, I'm going to start holding more mental health chats. And so the very next day after I was considering quitting, I held a mental health chat, and it went so good. And I was like, wow, you know what, if I'm feeling this way because of negativity from online, then I know a lot of other people are feeling that way. And it's hard, it's hard, especially if you're dealing with it by yourself. And so, I really wanted to give a platform for people to come and just be honest and say, hey, I'm not okay. And I feel like that starts a lot with us, as the speakers, and being able to be honest about what we're going through. And, that's why I always tell people, don't let, a nice profile picture or, a nice resume, confuse you on the fact that, every single person, no matter who you are, we all have problems. We're all struggling, and the pandemic didn't help. So, I try to navigate, I've learned, okay, I like this room. I don't like this room. I like the vibe in this room. I don't like the vibe in this room. And that's helped me navigate. And so now I just only go to rooms that I really enjoy the people and the message and the knowledge, and anything else, if it's drama, I just leave. It's really that simple. I've learned my best friend is the exit button and the block button. Anytime something's negative, I just block it out and I continue on with my day, because it's just, the more energy, it's upsetting us more than it's upsetting them. And so it's just best not to feed into it and to just ignore it. So I just really, I try to navigate away from all the negativity and drama and just enjoy my happy spaces and enjoy the good people that I really like.
It's freaking awesome. And it's hard. Sometimes it's really difficult to combat negativity. Like, every once in a while, we'll get it, here and there, something, this sucks, or I don't like this. And, sometimes it you try not to let things bother you, but they still kind of bother you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I remember hearing, this isn't going to go anywhere. This is just like, how do you know, right? Like, and I don't, like, this is a fun, like, the weekly podcast, what we do is it's just a fun hobby for me and Daniel to just kind of just enjoy, spend time with each other. I've known Daniel since high school, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an opportunity for us, continue to be friends and grow. And if something happens with this, then something happens with it. But like, there was a point where like we were just kind of in a place where we had gotten so beaten down by just, sometimes it's friends who do it too, just not even realizing they're doing it, but just kind of like, you're still doing that, like, or
Yeah, they kind of put you
it can
down.
get taxing on you, right? And it's hard, and the way that you kind of handle that is really, really good, because it can be hard, especially when you're really wanting to do something with what you have, or even just like hearing little things. Like, I mean, I get comments on my weight all the time, like from family and friends about how I've gained weight. Like, it sucks. It hurts sometimes, and they don't realize they do it. Even like, so I don't know. It's one of those things that it's good that you can combat it, and I'm working on it day by day on trying to figure out ways to do it. So it's just,
It takes
I'm
time.
a,
It definitely takes time. It's nothing that happens overnight. I think just throughout my life, I've had different phases where I've been, criticized or put down or not supported. And it really does just kind of help build up your tolerance for realizing, you know what, this doesn't have to do with them. It has to do with me. I need to be so secure with what I'm doing and know that I'm doing the right thing that feels good to me, that I don't even listen to them anymore. Because, my fiance, he's funny because he'll every time he goes to a family thing, like, oh, you've gained weight. And he's like one of the skinniest ones out of his family. And I tell him, like, don't worry, like, what they're saying. Like, don't drown them out. You who you are, that you've lost weight and you're doing good. So don't worry about it, because and it takes a lot, especially when it comes from family and friends, but sometimes not family and friends aren't always as supportive of your new ventures or your new businesses or your new ideas. And you just have to know, okay, if this feels right to me, then that's all that matters, because sometimes family and friends aren't as supportive as we'd like. And so that's why we have to find comfort in our own self-worth and knowing what we're doing is on the right track.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree.
that's something I've learned myself with podcasting is usually family and friends aren't the most supportive. A stranger will support you more than family and friends will most of the time. It's what it is, unfortunately. But like you said, you combat it. You find ways to find positives in what you're doing, and I think the most important thing, and it's something you said, is be secure in what you're doing. Trust the process. Have faith in yourself, and things will work out.
Because even if you fail, the whole point is that you're trying, that you're out there because, sometimes you have to have a bunch of failures before one success. And so you have to be comfortable with knowing, hey, I believe in myself. I might fail, but I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to make it work, because, not everything is meant for everybody. When I look back in my life, my opportunities, I see how my path, veered into something better. And so, I that's why I don't worry about what other people say. I had a lot of people who were criticizing me and stuff, but now, I'm more confident than ever that what I'm doing is what I'm meant to do. So that's the beauty of, I guess when you get older too, you just kind of stop caring what people think as much. You're like, yeah, I don't care what you guys say.
And that's something like you said, you learn it with time, and I'm getting there. It's hard sometimes, but I'm getting there. Um, Siggy, what about you, man? Like, how have you been able to? I know it's every once in a while you've jumped in a space that I've also been in, and there's been just either a troll or somebody who's just really negative on Dogecoin or on like other people. Like, what is your best method to kind of combating the madness?
Well, that's a great question. For me personally, I in my professional life, there's many ways in how to say it, but I like to just say like I've been in the customer service for a long time, and over the course of time, and I've been called everything in the book, and so I've developed a very thick skin. And of course, just growing up where I grew up too, it's hard to not take things personal, and the reality is that the internet allows people to evade the consequences of their actions, right? It gives people the opportunity and the platform to be able to say things and and what I do is like when I go into a space and if I feel like if I see something going on, if I have the opportunity to address it, I try to really put myself on the other person's shoes. I try to remain calm. We're all emotional creatures, right? We're all human. We're all just flesh. So it's hard to kind of turn off the emotion and not attach yourself to that and think logically when you're in a confrontational situation. And just like Coco, as I get older, I tend to find myself just trying to be more calm and try to listen to understand, right, where the other person's coming from rather than just listen to reply. Yeah, I tell you what, with trolls, man, is like, you know what? I think the best remedy, if you are getting put down or if someone's looking for that reaction, that's the goal, right? Is that people are going to say things to you, regardless of whether it's intentional or not intentional. And it's just, we can only control what we do, right? We're adults. We got to be accountable for our own decisions. And so I tried to combat it with laughter and comedy. That's always just been me personally. It's funny because my dad, who was in the military, he mentioned to me he was an interrogator during Desert Storm, and he told me that the best way to get the truth out of somebody wasn't through fear, it wasn't through bribing them, it was actually creating relatability through laughter and comedy because it puts people at ease, right? And there's a sense of like I don't know how to put it, but like you get a sense of positivity. So there's been when if I'm ever put into that predicament, I just try to first and foremost when I'm on Twitter at least is just remember the mantra: do only good every day. Right? Is this person filling my cup or are they taking away from it? Right? And I first have to identify the situation because I might be walking into something that was had nothing to do with me. I am just seeing this chaos going on, and I'm a Libra Virgo myself, so I am innately built to be a diplomat. And over the course of my life, that's really played a big part in my negotiation, right? I think sometimes I should have been like a negotiator, right? So I always try to lean on my faith too, is that you know what, there's only one person in this world that can ever have control over me, and that's the God of my understanding. And because I have that faith, and that's really what I lean on, is like the whatever I come into contact with, man, at the end of the day, it's not going to allow me to lose sleep, right? There's three different types. There's actually four different types of ways that you can engage with confrontation. You can either attack it, right, and throw that poison back out of whoever's bringing it to you. You can defend it, right, and justify, oh, that's not me, and you're sitting there and telling a person like no, and you're trying to provide a case more or less. One of my favorite is just to ignore it. I just ignore it, and if I do not give that person the satisfaction of instilling the reaction out of me, I'm the winner, right? And then they're just looking foolish because they're creating this noise, and if I'm not feeding into it, then I just keep it moving, right? I don't got time for that. Like that's not what I'm coming on the space for, right? Like I speak for me. Like when I come onto the Twitter Spaces, like I allow social media to have my time because I give it that power. I give it an opportunity for me to explore it and also experience it, right? And it's just like a TV show. It's a form of entertainment, right? And if it's something that's like I feel like it's taking energy away from me, I'll just disconnect it. Like as Coco said, you can block, you can just you can remove that energy from your life. And I really try to approach it with that. Something else too is I feel like a lot of people want to always be right all the time. And regardless of what the topic is or if they have a disagreement with you, they tend to want to be right. And so what I've tried to do to combat that as well is just to be a good listener, right? I just want to hear this person out. I want to understand where they're coming from. And even if I don't agree with them, I try to put myself into their shoes and also sympathize and try to understand what the root cause of it is, right? Because like there's a reason why someone is being this negative. Maybe they're looking for attention, right? Maybe they had a bad day. I also try to be aware and have a frame of mind. Like one of the things that I've learned in life is that most people don't have a bad day. They have a bad 5 minutes that they carry with them throughout that day, and it can infect everything that they do, right? In regards to what's been happening lately, I don't feed into like other people's battles. I try to pick and choose what I engage with, and everybody has an opinion, right? And if I don't subscribe to that, then if I feel compelled to make a counterpoint, then I have to come into a frame of mind that I know what I'm getting myself into, right? But at the same time, is that the easiest thing for me has just been to ignore it and move on. Now, the fourth point, though, that what you can do is try to embrace it, right? Like, and say, okay, you're taking a shot at me, and I'm going to sit here and make the effort to try to understand why. And so hopefully I'm not going down the rabbit hole here, but I try to lay a couple of different points of view when I'm kind of talking about this particular topic here.
No, these are all great points, and like they're definitely very relevant to the situation of like, how do you combat that sometimes? Because it's really hard and people don't know. Like, and you see it all the time, like, and not even in just spaces, but in real life, people get hit with negativity. They like to respond back with negativity, and that's not always the process and the best way to get your point across and end the conversation there, right? You know what I mean? Like there
Hmm.
are multiple different steps, here and there that you can actually utilize in order to actually be more beneficial and then it may end up, in a more positive light at the end of the day. And I think you shine a good light on that.
Well, I'll tell you what too is that in my personal life, when I'm making decisions nowadays, if there is something that comes my way, it places itself in my life. I try to think like, okay, if the action that I'm going to take does it benefit my family, right? Is it gonna help us out, right? Is what I'm gonna do or the way I'm gonna react to it gonna affect my family in a negative way or my life in a negative effect? And that's the exact same way that I try to conduct myself, at least on the Twitter Spaces. Is like, you know what? If am I going to take this confrontation public? Am I going to put it on blast so that everybody can see it, or am I going to invite this person to a DM and try to resolve my differences there? Right? I try to approach it from like is the actions that I'm making here, is that going to help support the Doge community? Is that going to help push adoption from the global stage, right? Am I setting a good example of what it means to be a part of the Doge army? So those are different things that I also put myself into a frame of mind, which allow me to make those more logical decisions rather than just being like, nah, F you, man. It's gang gang, like what's up? And just then begin to interact in that type of manner.
Absolutely. Thanks, Siggy, for kind of having that conversation with us about that. I think that's awesome. And again, like legitimately, like I think you have so much knowledge when it comes to like even little things like that. Like, you know, you have there's people who have knowledge in education, right? And there's people that have knowledge in life and how to combat and go through life. And I think all of the speakers here have a really good way of actually talking about, you know, what are the best ways to like really be successful long term throughout life, right? And through that is through positivity, through pushing and doing what you want to continue to do without despite what other people think, like, and that's something that's really really awesome. I don't want to have more time on this, so as I know it's getting late for a few of you guys, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. So we'll go ahead and go to the I think that's the. Let me just make sure. It's okay for everyone, and I will go ahead and start with Sadie this time. What is the strongest thing going for Dogecoin in your opinion?
The strongest thing going for Dogecoin, in my opinion, is the community. There's nothing like it. The love and the positivity and the support that I see every day within the community is mind-blowing to me. You know, with Coco's Twitter spaces, all the different topics that she does, you know, the mental health day, she has business and charities, she has a veterans chat where they can come in and meet each other and make new friends. And it's just amazing how much support there is as individuals. And the amazing part about it is it's all over the world. This is a worldwide movement of people uniting. And I couldn't be more honored to be a part of it, to be honest with you. I'm very excited about this event coming together, and just the support of the Dogecoin community it's unbelievable. You know, it's my second family. I think everybody can call each other family. We tell each other, you know, I love you, good night. And I've just never seen anything like it. And I can honestly say that, you know, with Coco's chats, I've listened in so much, and I can honestly say she's saved multiple lives in those spaces because of how compassionate and empathetic and understanding she is, and giving, you know, the focus and the time and the space for these people to come out and share their stories and have the support of the community. I just it's mind-boggling to me how awesome it is. So yeah, the community is definitely my number one
That's awesome,
love.
Sadie.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you very much on that. How about you, Coco? Would you also agree with the community?
Yeah, honestly, you know, I've had this conversation with a few different people, and the one who just from the day I met them has been saying this is Billy, who, you know, is the creator of Dogecoin. And he has always said that without the community, without the people, there is nothing. There is no Dogecoin without them. You know, without the positivity, without the do only good every day, without the funny memes, without, you know, just people coming together to just be one. And even if we all come from different backgrounds, different races, religion, doesn't even matter, because we all come together for one interest. And that truthfully, it really is the key and the heart of Dogecoin. You know, if and I think truthfully that's why people like, you know, Elon and Mark Cuban love Dogecoin, is because they really do see that it's not just, you know, investing, it's fun. You know, it's something that everybody can get into, everybody can enjoy it. You know, and that's why, you know, truthfully, if I didn't make any money off of Dogecoin, I'd still be just eternally grateful for the friends that I made and for the people that I've met, because they have been life changing. And that right there is worth everything. So, I just think that the fact that we all have one common goal that we're working towards every day is truly what makes the community so amazing. We're the largest community on Twitter, in cryptocurrency. And so that right there is a huge success for us. So I think just, the people, the passion, the heart, that is everything for Dogecoin, everything.
I think it's an amazing answer, and like that's very much appreciated there as well. I think you're absolutely right, and it's really hard to even add anything more to that because you really like literally taking the words out of my mouth. Greg, how about yourself? What is the strongest thing for Dogecoin going for you?
Well, I agree with both Coco and Sadie and you that it is the community. And the interesting thing about it is Dogecoin is the people's coin, and it's for the people, and it's you know been successful because of the people coming together as one and supporting it for the greater good of mankind. And Dogepalooza is the festival created by the people for the people to benefit the people and to change the world and to uplift everyone and just bring everybody together. So without the community and without that mission of do only good every day, none of this would be possible. It, none of us would be here together and none of us would know each other. So that coin and this festival are bringing together the people of the community to change the world in a way that the world has not seen before. And it's greater than all of us. And it's more powerful than all of us. And it's truly a one of a kind movement that is literally going to change the world, uplift people, um, benefit people, help charities, stop a lot of the oppression and things that are going on that are bad in the world, and shine the light on good and what can happen if everybody comes together, supports each other, loves each other for a common goal. There's nothing that can stop us. And that's what both the Doge community and the ape community represent. And our fellow apes have joined with the Doge community, and we love them for that. We support them 10 billion%, just like they support us 10 billion%. And we just love both communities, and we could not be happier. And this event is for everybody. It's all inclusive, whether you're into Doge, not into Doge, whether you're ape in the ape community and for GME or AMC. It's for everybody, and it's to educate people and to bring them together in a fun, interactive way. And it's just truly an organically grown community festival, and we just can't thank everybody in the community enough. We love everyone.
Thank you, Greg. I think that was awesome. That was a great answer too. Siggy, I think it's gonna be you, and then Daniel can kind of speak at the end of it as we go into the next official piece of this. So we're gonna be going to the announcements, special secret super announcement. But Siggy, what are your thoughts? Do you pretty much kind of like resonate with pretty much everyone else? Community is at this point, because I think at this point we've kind of gone to the conversation of like absolutely community is 100% the most important thing for Dogecoin and Dogecoin. Like it's the reason that it exists at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, what a tough act to follow. Okay. Um, I love y'all. Yeah, I mean, need I say more? But just to kind of, like you mentioned, just to resonate with everybody else, is that this community is building a foundation and laying the pillars down for something that I believe that will be truly great. Dogecoin being the currency of the movement, right? A lot of people that I talk to have mentioned to me that they came for the opportunity of investing in cryptocurrency through Dogecoin. However, they stay for the community. And I am in complete agreement with Coco. I've said this many times in spaces, is that today I would have no problem liquidating my position from the investment portfolio and staying for the community, because that's what I'm here for. Like every person on here, like we don't get paid for this. We do this for you. We do this for everybody else too, right? We do this for every person in the Doge army, right? And I also want to take a moment too to shout out our apes. Big shout out to Jay Brown, Terra Bull, Pete G, Jedi, Ling Ling, Sincere Doge, VJ, I could go on and on and on, but it's actually I love the fact too that this community is actually creating bridges for other communities as well, right? Like the ape community. It's like, think of it like you bring two families together who have their characters, and it's full of love and joy, and you're bringing them together to create one big family. And I think that's the power behind it. It's really just the love, right? Is the passion and the love for the people within the community that really truly elevate the movement. And that's unbreakable too. People may have their disagreements. We just talked about the drama. However, though, I think that the most powerful thing though about the coin itself is the community that drives it, right? The community that pushes large corporations, and also educating small businesses to adopt it as a form of transaction and currency as well. So so yeah, echoing my colleagues here and my family members, and for y'all, is that without the community, I truly believe it would just be something else that someone could invest in. And when you can get, if you're new to this space and if you've never got into it, I would definitely recommend that you check this out. I can guarantee is that you will be quite happy with what you find.
Thanks, Siggy. That's much appreciated. Go ahead, Danny.
Well, just like Coco and Siggy said, I could cash out today, not make $1 on it, and I would still stay because the community, the Doge Army, is what it's all about. I joined Doge a little bit later after Kyle kept telling me about it, and I was skeptical about crypto, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna join the Doge community. Jump in on Doge. I joined the community, started following the Twitter spaces, the talks. I started following all y'all. I started learning about it, and then I started, making friends through it. And all in all, like all y'all said, it's the community, the Doge Army, is what makes it all worth it. There's nothing else that I want more out of it than just the community, the positivity, and the mantra that do only good every day. Like, that's all amazing. That's what drives this. That's what's gonna continue driving it for a very long time. And it just I would never be in this position sitting with a bunch of experts in Doge. With Greg and Sadie organizing Dogepalooza, with Coco, and Siggy. Like, it's just amazing to see how Doge has created such a huge community and brought so many people together, has brought so much positivity to the world. It's just amazing. It blows my mind, and again, like everybody else said, it's the community for me. That's what it is.
Thanks, Danny. I mean, honestly, it's always great to have you on the team as well with the Dogecoin community. I was so happy when you finally jumped on board and you were like, fine, I'll try it out. I'll see what it's like. And here you are, literally having a podcast with some of the really biggest names. And okay, guys, y'all can say, oh, we're not the biggest names, but y'all are some of my favorite people within the Dogecoin community.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to all y'all.
Thank you. That's so
we
nice.
love you guys. Thank you.
For sure. So next up, Greg, can we go ahead and do this?
Yeah, you want to announce our special celebrity A-list artists and icons?
Yes, I do, actually. So I'm really excited to officially announce this on the Weekly Podcast. But we do have two of the headliners that will be out for Dogepalooza. So the first one I want to go ahead and start with, she is one of the 40 biggest hit makers between the years of 1955 to 1999. She's been on the Billboard Hot 100 time and time again. She's one of the most charted female vocalists of all time. 56 of her singles have been making the Hot 100 between 1962 and 1998. She's known for songs as That's What Friends Are For, I'll Never Love This Way Again, and Walk On By. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome and talk to the conversation of Miss Dionne Warwick.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's very exciting to hear that you're going to be part of the Dogepalooza team officially when it comes down to actually performing for us. All right. So what initially interested you about Dogepalooza? it's really exciting that
Actually,
you're a part of the team.
my son basically introduced me to it just yesterday. Actually, we were on the phone, and he was with someone that represented Doja, and sounds very interesting. I know nothing about it, and so I'm learning as I go.
Perfect. Well, the good thing is that's how a lot of people start. So don't even be worried about that. We're excited to have you part of the Doge family officially. And
Okay.
we're looking forward to seeing you perform live at Dogepalooza.
All right, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Perfect.
And we just love your song. And we think that because the Doge community is all about family and about friends and stuff, and your song speaks to that so amazingly that it's just so awesome. That's what friends are for. Is just, I don't think if you perform that, I don't think there'll be a dry eye in the entire house.
Well, it's a very meaningful song to me as well, and friendships are very vital to my existence, actually, and so it's a pleasure always to sing that song.
Oh, you are such an amazing, talented, iconic, legendary singer, and we are just so honored, thrilled, and just happy that you are willing to be a part of Dogepalooza and the first Dogepalooza. And just thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. And we love you, and we love your son, and we love the charity that you're working at for.
Yeah.
And we're going to help donate to that and raise a lot of money for your cause. If you want to speak about your charity, that would be awesome.
Well, actually, it's my school, and Damon has a center that he'll address when you interview him. My school needs a lot of upgrading, and the funds will certainly help do that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I know your time is very valuable and limited. Is there anything else you'd like to say or talk about before you go? Because we want to respect your time.
Well, I'm really just looking forward to being a part of something as meaningful as what you're doing and raising funds for some viable causes.
Thank you. That is so awesome. And thank you so much for everything.
My pleasure. You take good care, okay?
You too.
Take
You have
care
a good
too.
day.
Oh,
Thank you, Dion.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, mommy.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Damon. We really appreciate that. She is just an icon and a legend, and it just means so much. And we love you to death.
I am in shock right now. I just spoke to your mom.
Yeah, she's the best. Mom's the best.
Yes, she is.
So I on a train, guys. So if I cut out, we can do this again, or let's try to get it going because it's kind of cool. I don't know how many podcasts we can do from someone being on a train, right? It's kind of cool.
Agreed. So yeah, we can go ahead and roll right into it. So ladies and gentlemen who are listening to the podcast, I'd like to introduce you to Nomad. Nomad is going to be actually being another performer here at Dogepalooza 2021. So how are you doing, Nomad? How are you today?
I'm great, man. Chilling on this train, man. I'm cruising up from San Diego here. I'm going to give everybody a little view. Oh, of course, there's a wall now. Well, I like that. Go Navy. My dad was... So that's pretty cool. But I'm cruising up, by the ocean. Beautiful day. It rained on me, man, in San Diego. It was kind of crazy. It never rains in California. You know that song, right? Mm-hmm. I'm calling Raphael Sadiq and I'm telling him that's not true. It rained on me.
Well, we're glad to have you. Safe and dry, by the way, as well. I guess the question is, how did you find out about Dogecoin and like the family in general? Were you just kind of scrolling through cryptocurrencies, or what led you to Dogecoin?
I've been kind of playing around with the cryptocurrency, game on a very small scale. I will let you know. By no means am I on the Elon Musk level, although one day I hope to be. And when I'm standing with him, I'm gonna let him know two things. One, I am a supporter of SpaceX. You see, I got my backpack right here. Sick. I'm a real space geek. But also number two is it's wonderful what he's doing for the community. It's wonderful what, this festival is going to do for the community. Do only good every day. That's the train. You hear the train? There you go. That's my captain. But okay, so anyway, yeah, no, it's wonderful what the whole community is, man. Like, do only good every day, right? So, like it's kind of a mantra, and, uh, and my family, and as you guys see, Mom is so giving, and we just try to live each day the best way we can, and we only believe in you can, and we believe in the word can, and seeing this happening on such a new level, coming through this pandemic is absolutely just kind of amazing. So I'm really excited to be a part of it. I'm excited. I was excited when they called me and asked if I would headline this event. I was like, wow, really? Of course. Like, and then they said, would Mom be a part of it? Headline. I said, I'll call her and see if she'll sing a song. That would be amazing. So it's kind of like, it's kind of awesome, man, because we haven't done gigs in a while.
Well, honestly,
day. So yeah.
Perfect. It's going to be amazing having you out and spending that day. October 2nd is going to be hopefully a beautiful, clear, sunny day. We haven't officially announced the venue yet at this point in
Right.
time, but wherever that may be, we hope it's really sunny. We hope it's nice, and we hope it isn't super hot, because Texas as a whole can get very, very hot.
I've heard, and yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Be ready ahead of time. If you need tips on any of that kind of stuff, making sure you stay nice and dry and not so sweaty, let me know. I got you.
Yeah, I think I know. It's called air conditioning. I'm gonna be finding a place with plenty of that. So
100%.
Oh, we got you. Hey, Nomad, we got you covered on the AC. We got you and your mom covered with a private suite and everything. So don't worry, we'll take care of you really good at Dogepalooza. And we just can't thank you and your mom enough for being a part of the very first Dogepalooza and helping make it much wow and epic, because both of you all just bring so much amazing talent to the stage, and it's just iconic. It's going to be legendary. Thank you both for participating in Dogepalooza 2021.
And well, I thank you guys for having us. And hold on, let me just tell dude that I'm on another call. And I thank you. I thank you guys for having us, and we look forward to this being the first of many. I'm happy to be. This is awesome, man. This is the first one, and we get to be a part of history in the making. So.
Oh, and great. Definitely, we're going to have you at all the ones you want to be at.
Oh,
anyone you want to go, anywhere in the world, you're coming with us, because I love you, bro. Thank you so much.
Love you, Nomad.
We love you too, man. Love you too, young lady. And so we look forward to just really having a good time. Everybody having fun, playing some great music. Texas is known for that barbecue, so man. Whew,
oh yeah.
That's all I say.
No matter where you go, you're going to be very happy and impressed with all the barbecue out there, man. It's some good stuff.
Do you want to talk about your healing center and what you're trying to do with that and promote that?
So here's the crazy thing. I'm right this morning down to San Diego to pick up. I got this invention of these. They're like yoga mats, but they're not your typical yoga mat. They actually work with frequency healing. So they vibrate from the frequency of 528 all the way down, to a very low frequency, and starting from your crown chakra all the way to the root. And it in essence heals each chakra kind of one at a time. It kind of like breaks your cells up and puts them back together, if you will. Think of it like a deep tissue massage from the inside. But the healing center is kind of like, when I say temple, I mean temple in the meaning of love, not in any religious asset or any religious manner at all. It's more like a temple where people can come and just truly check into themselves, tune into themselves, know that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to, know that you can beat anything that is troubling you, from anxiety, depression, addiction, normal everyday trials and tribulations. It's just a place to come and escape. And I'm so grateful that you guys have chosen us to be one of your recipients of, raising funds, because as you know, we do need that to be able to be in the business of helping others. And I'm super excited for Mom because she's got her school, which is the Dionne Warwick Institute of, economics. I always get it. I always mess it up. The Dionne Warwick Institute of Technology and Economics. I think that's right. And if it's not right, Mom, I'm sorry. I always mess it up. But she's got her school, and like she said, they need to, Institute of Economics and Entrepreneurship. I got it. See, I had to think for a minute. But that her school, is very special to her, named after her. Actually, the school she went to, and they're trying to rebuild, and they're just, she's all about helping the babies. So thank you guys so much for making us both a high priority on your list. There could have been many charities that you could have chosen for multiple reasons, and we're very honored, that you chose us.
Oh, thank you so much, Damon. That means so much to us. And, Dogepalooza, Sadie and I support you and your mom 1000%. We love both y'all. We love your charities and the causes you both represent because they're near and dear to our hearts as well. And we want to help raise a lot of money for those charities because they're very deserving and really need it. And this is just an amazing way that we can work together and do this. And I look at this first Dogepalooza as the first of many for all of us to work together. And we're going to take you and your mom around the world and raise money for your all's charities and causes and try to change the world and do only good every day and make the world a better place. And I think with all of us together, we can do that and spread the love.
I agree. Thank you so much. Hey guys, thanks so much for your time, and look forward to seeing you guys in hot Texas.
Looking forward to seeing you as well, DJ Nomad.
All right, man.
Thank
All right.
you.
You have a safe trip on the train. Take it easy.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Kick back and relax. You have a good one, brother.
All right.
Thanks again, Damon. I appreciate it. It's Greg. Thank you so much. And thank your mom again for me. And we'll be in touch soon. If you need anything, just text me anytime. I'll make it happen. You see that?
Yeah.
Thanks,
thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Siggy, Coco, what do you guys think? I want to hear you guys real quick.
Oh my God.
Honestly, when they hearing that to me was just unbelievable because it's when you think of some of the biggest names from I just remember I know my mom grew up on that, and then she always used to play that around the house, and so being able to know that is going to be sung at Dogepalooza, and what a more perfect song for all the Doge fam to be able to come together and be able to hear together from the woman herself is just unbelievable.
That's what Greg was saying. He's that's what friends are for, is legitimately the perfect Doge anthem.
Yeah.
For the whole family. It's literally Doge for the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Miss Dionne Warwick, the icon, true living legend, who is so gracious and so nice and amazing talent, has agreed to come and perform that for us and for the Doge family and Doge community. And she is truly excited, and you'll hear it in her clip. She is truly excited about being at Dogepalooza and doing this, and that's one of her favorite songs, and she actually loves to perform it. And I have to say this also. I'm so proud to say that she actually loved my cute little dog avatar icon, and so I'm approved by Dionne Warwick, my icon. So you can't get any better than that. She is a true legend and just amazing talent.
How freaking cool is that, Greg? Honestly, how freaking cool is that? She's
I'm never changing this. I'm never changing this.
Never. You can't ever change it. Once you have it approved by her, that's it. That's your profile picture for life.
Yep.
Exactly.
Insane. But yeah, so for those of you guys listening, those are our two official celebrity guests. Definitely follow Dogepalooza, as well as the rest of the team within Twitter. We'll go ahead and put all that stuff at the very end of the podcast when we're doing the shout outs, but make sure you follow them so that way you can get more updates on other artists that are going to be going through the Dogepalooza system, and also they're going to be headlining the Dogepalooza event. So just that you do that. And then we're actually going to really jump right into Dogepalooza and just really go ahead and start off with Greg. what the heck is Dogepalooza? Like, I think we've talked about it, like the everything surrounding it, but what is Dogepalooza?
It is like truly a organically grown community festival for the community, by the community, and to benefit the community and uplift them, as well as to shine light on charities and donate and raise money for really deserving causes and just change the world. And it's a fun environment that embodies the spirit that Billy Marcus, the creator of Dogecoin, always preaches about. It's the do only good every day. It's the, family environment, the community of it, and the fun, just whimsical, memes. Let's joke around. Let's have a good time, you know, environment. And that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create that experience and that feeling in the real world with all the family together, bringing together, businesses, charities, artists, bands, singers, performers, just the public in general, bringing new people into the community, bringing the community together that's been there and seen each other and talked to each other on Twitter Spaces over and over and over for these past months, and just make it the most fun, educational, amazing time that you could have with the best group of friends and family you could ever ask for. And that's what we're trying to embody and just do only good every day and just shine a light on helping others.
Freaking love that. I'm legitimately like, I know Danny can probably attest to it. I'm so excited for this. I've literally been talking about this with Danny for like months.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, not months, but legitimately when I first heard about like Dogepalooza, like having this conversation, like, dude, like we need to go. We need to be there regardless. It doesn't matter. Like we got to go somehow, regardless of where it is. We need to do it.
Yep.
And it's just really cool. Like it just makes me very excited. And like you could probably see it in my face if for those who are actually viewing this via video, aka only the people that are in this podcast. But you guys can see my face. I'm smiling from legitimately ear to ear. I'm so excited for everything that's going on with this. And thank you, Greg, once again for doing what you're doing. And it's really going to make an impact. And I'm really excited for not only this first annual Dogepalooza, but many Dogepaloozas to come. Okay, guys, to go into the next question. This is more of a question for the core team, including Sadie, Coco, and Signature. I'm going to go ahead and start with Signature for this one. And so, Siggy, we know what Dogepalooza is now. Greg has, I think, explained it pretty great, right? Like he's explained what it is, kind of the expectation. What does Dogepalooza mean to you? Like in the sense, like as a core team, like being able to kind of work directly with Dogepalooza, what does it mean to you? Like, and what are you hoping to eventually like come back? Like once everything's said and done, once this date is officially passed, what's something you want to make sure you get out of it?
Wow, what a great question. um, you know what Dogepalooza is for me is an opportunity to show the world that there is still hope, that people from all walks of life can still come together and have fun in a safe place, with their families, right, and show love for one another. And they're sorry, that's my daughter in the background. But it can, I think it truly what it does is that it proves to me that people from all backgrounds can come together and love on one another, and with a common belief of doing only good every day, positivity. What I'd like to leave from it after this is all said and done is, oh man, it feels good to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and knowing that the effort, time, and energy that you can contribute to something can impact positively in so many different people's lives, right? And I'm actually looking even further in the future. Like for me personally, I look at the biggest picture. I want to be sitting on this podcast with you in 20 years, God willing, and looking back and saying, Kyle, Danny, do you remember when we had the first podcast before the first Dogepalooza even happened, and how the world has changed as because of it? Like that's what I'm working towards today. When I look at a goal in my life, I look at the biggest picture and work myself backwards so I always know what the next step is. And I want to give a big shout out to y'all for being able to be the first podcast to ever cover Dogepalooza. I also want to just say that I appreciate the opportunity to be here because we have so many other people who are a part of the core team and Dogepalooza that weren't able to be here today. And I want to thank them for allowing us to represent them as well, right? Um, what I want to take away from it at the end of the day is just like again a saying again is I want to I want to take away that I didn't have fear and I believed in something bigger than myself, and I actually took that first step to make a positive movement in a community and for the world. That's for me personally.
What an amazing answer. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Sadie, you're going to follow that up.
Yeah, how do I even follow that up?
So to go into the question again, also, I'll see you in 20 years, Siggy. Hopefully we'll
Let's
still be
go.
doing the damn thing. Sadie, same question goes to you. What is Dogepalooza to you? Like working as a member of like the core team, what does it really, really mean to you? And legitimately, like at the end of all of this, like I said with Siggy, looking back at this at the end of the day, once the date is come and gone, what is that one thing that you hope to get out of it?
Well, it is a great question. And it's for me, it's not really about what I'm going to get out of it. It's more of what everyone is going to get out of it. I think about when you ask that question, I think about, me as a child thinking, and I think a lot of children maybe do think this way. How am I going to change the world? I want to change the world for the better. And I've always wanted to do that, but I didn't know how. And I never knew, what avenue to take to do that in the right way until I met Greg with Dogepalooza. And I jumped on it. This is my chance. Like I can see the long vision, just like Siggy said, in 20 years, we'll be laughing about this podcast with, Weekly D podcast with Kyle and Danny. And we're going to be laughing about it. And, the end goal is just to have a more unified world. This isn't about just this country or the people, in particular areas. This is about uniting the world. With this movement, I'm not looking just towards this one event. This is going to continue in my mind. So I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep going, and we're going to keep spreading, the positivity and doing only good every day. That's what I want. I want this for the people, and I want people to be happy and not struggling. Nobody should be going hungry out there. Nobody should be, houseless. And hopefully, this is the beginning of that movement of changing everything. And it's all thanks to Dogecoin and this team. That's another thing I want to bring up is, Siggy made a point that the core team is not here. Not all of us are here. And I just can't thank them enough. We have an amazing team with brilliant people that, couldn't make this podcast today, but they are working so hard. We're all working so very hard. It's not just us, three that are doing this at all. There's a whole team of us that is around the world that's doing this and spreading the world, spreading the love. And I've just never been so honored to be a part of it.
Man, y'all are just really killing it with the answers. Like these are
For
amazing
real.
answers to our questions. Coco, it's time. Okay. So Coco, this is another question. It's the same question that I've been giving them. At the end of the day, once Dogepalooza is gone, like as it's come and gone, we've experienced at this point. What do you hope to like have gotten out of the experience? I guess is a better way to word the question. Rather than getting something out of it, because I don't think like as a Doge community we want to necessarily get anything out of it. Like you kind of said, Sadie, it's really what everyone's going to get out of it. But what's something you hope to like gain from it in the sense of like more what do you look for with it, like growth, so on and so forth?
I feel like there's a few different answers. I would say one of the biggest ones for me is after I got sick and things happened, I kept trying to do a lot of stuff and it would just, not fall through because I would get sick and, just things would always happen. And so I think, this is a big thing for me to be able to do something and show myself that even though I'm sick, I can, get through and do big things again, and not let my illness stop me and not let my illness, just be the end all be all of my life, So being able to do something like that while giving back, I think is amazing because then I don't feel so selfish with, what I'm getting out of it. Because I think honestly, the ability to be able to have Dogepalooza where not only we're going to gather, thousands of people who have been talking online for years and have became such good friends through Twitter spaces and just have them have a chance to hug each other and meet and to be able to meet each other's families and to be able to, eat and celebrate together. I mean, that right there is just an amazing feeling. But then there's even more on top of that. It's all for charity, so this is just amazing to me that we are doing something so big for charity. And this is the biggest thing I think Doge has gotten really to do for charity. So this will be just so unbelievable to not only give back to charities that really need the money, but to really be able to just meet our community and just to have that ability to, and then to, just know that after this, there's going to be more and more and more events all around the world. And so we're going to have opportunities to go and meet our friends from around the world. And that opportunity right there to just be able to travel while meeting friends is just an amazing feeling to know that we're just, we're doing so many different things for good. We're giving back to charity. We're having people meet friends and come together and make a memory because you can buy all the stuff in the world, but then the day what you have is your memories. And sometimes those are what keeps you going. And it just makes you so happy to be a part of something. And to me, that's priceless because I know whenever I'm having a bad day, I love looking at an old picture of just that moment in time where I had such a good time with my friends or such a good time with my family. So I'm just excited that this will be one of those times for people where we get to come and make a memory for life, and just know that while we made that memory and while we were having fun, we were giving back to people who needed it. So to me, there's just so much excitement around this for just so many people, and we have such a great team, and to have somebody like Greg, and Sadie who have just made this truthfully one of the most flawless and easy experiences I've ever had with working with people. And it doesn't feel like work because we're just having so much fun doing it. And to just have that sense of family within a family is just a really cool feeling. So, I'm beyond happy and beyond excited. And I thank you guys so much for, having me here and having all of us here. And, thank you to our big team with Dogepalooza. And, just thank you guys so much for all you do and just always being in the spaces and always being fun to hang out with. So we appreciate you.
Absolutely, Kogo. And once again, like they're saying, a massive shout out to the rest of the Dogecoin core community and the core team that's been working really hard and tirelessly on this project. We really appreciate you guys. And at the end of the day, I know the community appreciates it as well. Want to again give a shout out to Nelson, aka Sincere Doge. We want to mention this because I think it's important to go ahead and talk about it because I'm looking for a place for it. Sincere Doge is working on a documentary to go over this entire thing, to go over, this big Dogepalooza event. But Greg, you have a time to speak a little bit on that? I know Sincere isn't here today, but maybe you can kind of throw a little bit out there.
Yeah, we had talked about it, and he and I were talking about the event stuff, and I had, listened to all these spaces and stuff. I had the ideal of, everybody has a story because in Coco Spaces, everybody was telling their story of how they got into Doge, what it meant for them, how it changed their lives. So I was like, hey, I was talking to Signature and them and Sincere, and I was like, look, why don't we do something, film something, a documentary thing about everybody has a story, and tell their story and capture that at Dogepalooza so that we can, show the world that we're all different, but we're all the same. And we all come together, we can do greater good than us apart. And it takes all of us together. There's no individual, it's a whole team, a whole community to make that happen. So it was a really great idea. And Sincere was all excited about it. And we talked about it, working it out, how we can make it happen and different ideas. And it's come to pass. We've got great teams that are going to film, including Sincere has his team. And then we also have a professional photographer who shot stuff for the NBA, the NFL, the NCAA, NASCAR, uh, Formula One, many concerts and other automobile companies, and you name it. He's like the most amazing photographer. His name's Chris. We love him. He's amazing. He's our official event photographer. He introduced us to a friend of his who does film work and stuff. They shot the Indianapolis 500. So, we have like top professionals going to come and shoot these things, do the videos, do the live streams, and just make this like amazing and tell everybody's story, because I think the beauty of this community is everybody has a story and you can learn from everybody's story. And it can help you not only learn, but make you not feel so alone, because maybe they're going through the same thing or a similar thing. And it can help you be uplifted by that, or they can give you guidance or advice of what they've learned, or you can give them guidance or advice of what you've learned. So it's just truly an amazing experience. And I just love what we can do with this documentary. And I think it's a great ideal.
That's
I think
really
it's
cool.
I think it's amazing. And honestly, for those who don't know Sincere Doge also is a videographer. He actually does work on a lot of I would say like indie films and projects that he does work on. He actually is working currently. It's already been filmed and it is on like select theaters. It's a thing called "Don't Say My Name," which is I think it's a documentary regarding human trafficking, if I'm not mistaken. And it it's a conversation about kind of like the some of the things in the signs to look out for, as well as like the general like struggles of getting caught within that scary system. Like, and so make sure to just check out, Sincere Doge. I know he does have a link to that. I think you can watch the video from one of his links. So feel free to check out his film. Don't Say My Name.
And also, Sincere Doge is one of our core team members, and he could not be here today, but he works tirelessly behind the scenes, as well as all of our other members around the world. Just the most professional, most experienced, most amazing, most generous, kind, loving family you could ever want. And like Coco said, we have a family within the family, and it's truly amazing. And I just think that, when this is all said and done and we look back after this first event, we're going to think about the friends we met, the family we formed, the connections we made. And I just don't think anything better than this. That's what friends are for, is just a perfect theme song for what we're accomplishing. And it's just truly amazing. And it's going to be beautiful. And then we're going to be taking a 5-second breather and on to the next events for next year. So that's probably what we'll be doing.
I'm freaking excited. I'm excited for the future. I've been talking about this entire podcast, talking about how excited I am. I'm pumped, legitimately pumped for everything that's happening with you guys. And thanks to you guys, we'll be able to actually see it happen in reality. So I have a question regarding sponsors. I know you guys wanted to discuss a few of the sponsors that will be sponsoring Dogepalooza. So I definitely want to hear it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kyle. We really appreciate this opportunity. I have some awesome, our very first official sponsor of Dogepalooza goes to Slum Doge Billionaires. They make awesome NFTs. What they did, they launched over the last weekend, and their platform is awesome. So they have 10,000 different unique pictures of a Doge character, and it randomly chooses. So it's kind of, if you remember when you were a kid and you went into the store and you got those little mystery bags, they were like $1 or $5, and you wanted one because you didn't know what was in it and you were excited for that surprise. It's exactly what these guys do, but with NFTs. So they created 10,000 of them And when you go in to purchase it, you don't know what you're going to get. They're all awesome though. So you know you're going to get something really cool, but you don't know what it is. They launched that over this last weekend, and they weren't sure how it was going to go. But because they are our first sponsor, we put their name out there and we helped them out a little bit, and they actually sold out the first day. So all 10,000 NFTs were sold out. I want to give a big shout out to them. They're very awesome guys. You can find them on Twitter at Slum Doges, and their website is slumdoges.com. And our second sponsor is also an NFT company. They're called Gods and Legends. They have collectible NFTs. They're awesome. They're so genuine, and they're like 3D. I've never seen anything so unique in my life. They actually are creating a game that you can play with these NFTs. The game hasn't been released yet, but you can collect the characters and you can actually blend them together to make a next power level of your character. I've never seen anything like it. I'm super excited to start the game. And you can find them at Gods and Legends on Twitter. And their website is godsandlegends.com. That's GODSNLEGENDS.com. And I just want to give a big shout out to our first two sponsors of Dogepalooza for 2021. We're so glad to have them be a part of the Dogepalooza family, and we can't wait to see what they come up with next.
100%. That's actually freaking awesome. Go ahead, Greg.
Yes, and I have another sponsor. They're starting and launching a new company, but they've been in the space for years and years, have a wealth of experience in the space. They're amazing to work with. And their new company is called On Point. They're a healthcare services company. They are building a new innovative revenue cycle management company by redefining the cycle. And they are smarter for a reason. They're an amazing group of people. We are so proud and honored to have them as one of our bigger corporate sponsors. And we look forward to helping them grow and launch their new business, as well as them working with us throughout the years with Dogepalooza. So I want to thank them, as well as our other two sponsors that Sadie mentioned. We just have many other sponsors that we already have on board, but there's a method and time of how we're going to release them. Just because you don't know about them yet doesn't mean they don't exist. We already have a lot of them in the pipeline, a lot of them in various stages of negotiation, and some just waiting for us to release it at the right time based on other things that are going to come out that make the timing perfect to announce them at those future dates. So stay tuned, and you will hear a lot more from us on sponsors in the next coming weeks and months leading up to the event.
Facts. That's freaking awesome. Again, shout out to Slum Doge Billionaires. I really hope the NFT marketplace turns out really good for you guys. Shout out to Gods and Legends. Also, really hope the NFT marketplace is something that provides much success. And shout out to On Point. That's freaking awesome. Thank you for showcasing those sponsors on there. I think this is the first time I've heard of the other two sponsors. I've heard of Slum Doge Billionaires, but I think it's the first time we've officially announced the other two sponsors. Am I correct?
Yes, the On Point is definitely the first announcement of them. The other sponsor, we announced them on Twitter, and we've been promoting them in spaces and stuff a little bit, and we're going to be doing more promotion of them. We just hadn't had an opportunity yet, but this was
Very
a
nice.
great opportunity to promote them. So yeah, this is like their big announcement for them as well. So thank you guys for allowing us to do that for them, and I know they appreciate it, and we do too.
Of course. We're glad to, officially help them kind of announce. I mean, it's just as important for us to announce Dogepalooza as it is to announce the sponsors that are going to be helping Dogepalooza become a thing. So
Exactly.
we have no issues with that in the slightest. So congratulations, guys. I guess the next thing going forward would be, so Greg, what has been the most challenging part of building out this event? What's a realistic fear you guys have about the event?
Challenging part, it hasn't been as challenging as people would think it would be, because I have, 30 plus years experience doing these type of events. And like I said before, Twitter Spaces is like the most amazing connection recruitment tool on the planet. And just being able to connect and meet with these amazing people that we have on our core team and on the team and in the community, who have offered their support, their skills, their talent, their knowledge. That has made this so much easier than any event I've ever done in my life. And I can't thank everybody that I've met and everybody on the team and everybody I'm offering to volunteer enough for all their time, service, and support. And I can't thank Twitter enough for creating a platform that made this possible, because without that, Twitter Spaces, this would not be possible. It would definitely take a year and a half and we wouldn't be able to do it. So that's, as far as like challenges, as maybe getting sleep and finding time to eat, because Sadie and I can tell you, we'll be on 13 and 16-hour calls and, back to back to back calls for like 13 to 16 hours a day. Not one solid call the whole time, but we've been on 6-hour calls before. So, it's a lot of work, and it's challenging to find sleep and balance that, and, find time to eat and balance that and stuff. So that's one of the challenges. As far as fear goes, I don't really fear anything, but the only thing that, would be in my head and constantly sticks in my head is I'm always trying to make sure that I'm doing right by the community, right by Billy Marcus and his vision, and trying to make sure every decision we make is the best decision to honor that spirit of do only good every day, to honor Billy's vision of what Dogecoin and Doge community should be, and to give the community what they truly want and make sure every voice is heard. So, doing that's a great responsibility, and it's a lot of pressure. And so that would be, one thing. And as well as, it being so big that we have more than the available space of people to come. That's always concerning to us, but we want to make it, we don't want to overdo it. And, we rather over under promise and over deliver. We don't want to make it too big and then not have enough people. We don't want to make it too small and too many, but we're trying to find the right spot on that. But we're also trying to make it feel, family friendly, children friendly, community friendly, and where you're all one. Because a lot of concerts you go to, you're you're sectioned off in your section, and here's your seat, and here's your area, and you can sit here and you can go to the bathrooms, you can go to the vending and the concessions and stuff, but you have to go back to your seat. And that's one of the things that we're doing that people don't maybe understand is we're actually cutting the capacity of the venue in half, because we do not want people to feel like they're stuck over here in this section or this seat, or they're on the field and they can't go sit down up in the stands, or they're in the stands and they can't go down on the field and dance and hang out and party with everybody. So we actually made the decision for the community, because we felt that a community is not the same unless it's together, and sectioning off is not the way to go. So by reducing the amount of people that can attend at one time, now you can have people come and go throughout the day, and so you get a lot more attendance numbers that way. But having the a lower total amount at one time in the facility would allow us to have everybody as a community all on the field together. And we felt that that was the most important thing to happen, because we love this community and we don't want anyone to feel like they're left out. And by being in different sections, we felt that they would feel left out. So we try to put ourselves in the community's position and thinking, and how we would feel if we were them. And we try to take that into consideration on every decision. And so that's why we made that decision, to make the community one, united on the field, and not divided and sectioned off, sitting in different places. So I hope they appreciate that decision, because, we could sell it for, more stuff, and more tickets, but we chose the smarter path for the community, I think.
Agreed. Dang, Greg, you answered like 3 of my questions. It was perfect.
That was
thank you.
perfect response.
Yeah, that was awesome. So you did touch on family friendly, right? That's the goal. We're going to be having a family friendly event, at least for the beginning, right? So what's the expectation when it comes to having family friendly from the morning as we continue on into the night?
Yeah, the expectation is it's it's set for 10 hours and the event, and we thought that that was a great spot you know for it, and it would start at noon and go till 10 p.m. and for the concert part, and then after 10 p.m. is going to be fireworks. So we get to have fireworks. We're all excited about that. We're pumped about fireworks. That's going to be amazing. um, but what we plan on is like for the first 4.5, 5 hours, family friendly um, environment where it's the entertainment, the acts, the artists, um, everything that's done is geared towards families and children and a safe place for them to come, enjoy, learn about Dogecoin, have fun, meet new people, meet their friends that they've talked to for online and stuff, and just have a safe place for them to do it. And so that's very important to us. And we're working very hard to make sure that happens, down to picking the venue and the security and the police and the EMS and the safety and everything. We go through all these decisions to make sure that it's the best of the best for everyone and the safest that we can make this event. And so it's going to be geared towards them. And it's going to have fun, different interactive things. We even actually have a professional hooper that's going to come and perform that and teach the children how to hoop and hula hoop and do things like that, and teach adults too if they want to. And then he's got some cool glow in the dark ones for later at night as well and stuff. And so there's cool things like that. There are some professional athletes. We haven't um, confirmed everything on that yet, but they've offered to come and maybe do some sports stuff with the children. So we're going to talk to them in the upcoming weeks and months and try to work that out, because we think that would be a great addition if we can make that happen. These professional athletes that the kids look up to, coming and interacting with them and teaching them some pointers about sports and life and what they've learned along their journey. So we thought that was cool, and we're gonna have fun things like there's somebody suggested having toy cars um, that are Tesla cars racing on a little toy racetrack, and so we thought that was a cool idea. The community voted on it, and we're gonna have that there. So we listen to the community, we involve the community, we love their input, and we're just trying to make this the best way that we can. Now, going into the evening, then we'll transition, and give the parents a warning that, the acts coming up are more age appropriate for 18 and over. And so we'll go and transition to that period. And, we'll ease into it. We won't just jump right in. We'll ease it in so the parents have a little time to, leave if they choose to. And if they choose to stay with their kids, that's their choice. We're not going to, tell them what to do with their children, but we're going to let them know and give them the best information we can about what's happening when, so that they can make an informed decision for themselves. And then, once it's the adult time, people can let their hair down, have fun, dance, party, have a good time, toast a drink with each other, and just have a great time. And that's what friends are truly for.
That's awesome. I'm so excited.
Sounds like it's going to be a blast.
I feel like it's going to be a blast too. Okay. So the good thing is we definitely had the majority of our questions. Like, we got them all answered, which is freaking awesome. And I know the community has that as well. Just want to go over it and kind of touch on it a little bit. I know we talked about the day for some of the people that were on Twitter Spaces. They had heard a day originally of like the potential Dogecoin day that'll be starting. That since has potentially changed. So I'll have Greg speak a little bit more on that. Also, I do want to kind of speak on, I know we were supposed to release the official venue within the Weekly podcast. We are, due to unforeseen circumstances that are out of our control, we won't be able to do that this time. But we will be announcing the official second clue coming up later in the podcast. So be on the lookout for that. So that'll be the official clue that you can only hear on the Weekly D, and it'll come out a little bit later on the official Dogepalooza side. So Greg, if you can go ahead and kind of go over that just really quick.
Yeah, real quick. We had announced, and we have the venue secured and stuff, and we had announced a date that we were given, and it was October 2nd, which is a Saturday, the first Saturday in October. And this weekend on Saturday morning, I got a call from the head of the venue, and he said there might be a small chance that we may have to change your date. Is that a deal breaker? Is that okay with you? But let me explain it. And he went through, the reason, and there's two of the three scenarios that would not affect us, and we would not have to change the date. There's one scenario that is a slim chance that could happen, but it could happen, and we would have to change the date. And so, I was concerned when he's saying this, but he's like, no, trust me, I've got a plan for you. Don't worry. You definitely have October 2nd, but if we have to move it, he is actually going to give us the following weekend, which is October 9th. So that's like unheard of and never happens, but we can't thank them enough for doing that for us. And we're just so happy that they see our vision and know what we're trying to do and accomplish, and are supporting us in that way to give us those. So we don't want people booking their flights and their hotels until we make all the announcements. And that's probably, touching back of one of the fears or things that, has been difficult, is wanting to tell everybody everything, but knowing that we have to wait because of certain things and certain situations and stuff. But we're trying to be transparent as we can. And so part of that is telling people, look, don't book your flights yet. Don't book your hotels yet. Just give us a chance. We are working hard to make this happen. And we want to give you, concrete dates and locations. So the location's locked in, but we got to just wait before we can announce it, because we want to announce the location of where it is, the city it's in, and the actual confirmed date all at the same time. We think that's better for people, so they don't start jumping the gun and booking stuff and then finding out they have to switch it, because we don't want people to do that. So please do not book flights. Do not book hotels yet. There will be a time for that, and we will let you know that. But once we tell you the confirmed, we're supposed to know, hopefully in the first 2 weeks in July, which date we're going to for sure have. And then once we have that, then we can announce the location, the city, and venue, and all that at once. So we just appreciate everybody understanding. We hope they do understand, and we're trying to be as transparent as possible on this for everybody.
I just wanted to make sure that was addressed and discussed on that. Next up, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to move into one of our personal favorite sections, the section we kept for this weekly podcast episode. It is our section, Keep It or Eat It, which is actually brought to you by Dogepalooza. So Keep It or Eat It is where we take user suggestions on just about anything and take a vote on whether it's cool enough to keep or whether we should trash suggestion and yeet it to the moon. You can send us your Keep It or Eat It suggestions by tweeting us at the Weekly Pod, at Danny_G951, and at It's That Guy Kyle using the hashtag KOY. So let's get started with Keep It or Eat It. So the first one that's going to be going for you guys, it's going to be Robinhood wallets. So Robinhood wallets is something that's not officially out and about yet. We know it's going to happen. I know Vlad Tenev, the CEO of Robinhood, has been talking about it and improving their crypto community space. They want to announce wallets so we can buy stuff in Dogecoin, we can sell stuff in Dogecoin, and we can transfer stuff in Dogecoin, as well as other different cryptocurrencies that are within the Robinhood platform. Do you like this? Do you think this is beneficial to the community, or would you yeet that into outer space because you don't think it's a good idea? We're going to go ahead and start with Coco.
I'm on the fence. At first I was so angry with everything that happened with GME and AMC that I was like, nope, that's it. I'm done with them. And I was like one of their biggest supporters. I loved Robinhood. I always recommended them to everybody because to me, it's the easiest platform for a new investor to use. But then I was just so disappointed with all the shady stuff that went on that it just really turned me off about them. Then I had a friend who kind of became friends with Vlad, and was like, "Hey, you need to cut him some slack," and blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to see things from my other side, but I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting them to come out with coin. Coinbase came out with adding Dogecoin to their platform before Robinhood even came out with wallets, and we haven't really heard anything from them. No real updates, nothing, and it's been kind of a while. And I know it's not an overnight process, but they've had quite some time. So, oh gosh, this is hard. I'm just gonna say eat it, just because I can't. I can't. No.
Totally
Mm-mm.
okay with that. Yeet is a
Yeah.
definitely personal situation. Let's go ahead and go to Siggy. Let's go ahead and go to Siggy next. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna keep it. I think that it's a great. That's one of the catalysts I believe for Dogecoin personally. I mean, remember too is that a lot of people got into Dogecoin through using the Robinhood app, including myself. And basically, is that after I got and bought into the bag and got the Dogecoin, that was then the platform that I used to get into other exchanges and to learn more about it. And they get on the Twitter community and they go down the rabbit hole with subreddit. So yes, I understand that there have been some issues. However, though, is that remember how much there is so much Dogecoin that's being held on on Robinhood right now, and people do not have the option to transfer it. So I think if anything, it's actually helping the cause of hodling because I know that people are waiting to exchange their coin. So I think if anything, it helps us, right? Also, too, is that I feel like that Coinbase was one, but I know that I in my heart believe that a lot of the community that's actually holding their coin is actually stemming from Robinhood. So I'm gonna keep it.
Hey, totally okay with that. Danny, you're up next.
Um, I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep it simply because like Siggy said and Coco said, Robinhood is the where most people got into Doge, and there's a lot of us holding Doge in within Robinhood, and the only way to legitimize Doge is to use it as a currency, and I mean the majority of us have Robinhood. Our Doge in Robinhood, so why not get a Robinhood wallet, be able to spend our Doge, and legitimize the token a little bit more? So I'm gonna keep it, just for that reason.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. How about you, Greg?
Well, I think I don't have any Doge in Robinhood. I've got mine in wallets that keep have your own keys, and it's your keys, your coins. So I think for the people that did invest early in Doge in Robinhood, I think it's a great idea for them because it gives them the power to have control of their money. And anything that gives the power of to the people to control their own money and make their own destiny with it, I think is nothing but a positive thing. And I think it also could help Dogecoin as well because it's not just one giant wallet holding it. It's the individuals being able to use it, spend it, donate it, and make it more of a true utility around the world. And so I think that's a good thing. So I would have to say keep it just because of that, because it puts the power back into the hands of the people.
Perfect. I'm going to keep it as well, just for the same reasons that you're saying and how everyone else has been stating. I do have my reservations like Coco does, but I do see the potential in it. So I would personally keep. Sadie, what you got?
I would definitely, I'm right along the lines with Greg. I don't hold my coins in Robinhood. And there's a reason why, because when I found, Doge and the crypto world and learning about it, I did hear about the ruffled feathers that were going on in the community about Robinhood and the wallets. So I'm going to go ahead and say keep it because I know that it's what the community mostly wants. They want to be able to transact their coins, they want to own them, they want to spend them, transfer them, which is our ultimate goal, right? We want to be able to use this as the people's currency. And without wallets that we own, you can't do that. I see the benefit, you know, like Siggy said, that, you know, I see the benefit of having it held. You know, it helps the whole community as far as, well, you're not going to sell your Doge, are you? Because you can't, you know, well, you can sell it, but you can't move it, you can't use it. So I'm definitely going to say keep it, because it is, you know, the people's currency in the future, and they need to be able to spend it.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So I think it was 5 keeps and 1 yeet. That's pretty good, honestly. It's never 100% up, like except in special occasions, 100% a keep thing. Most of the time there is a yeet somewhere there. So that's totally fair, and I totally agree with it. Next up is going to be a little bit more of a fun one. The next 2 actually are going to be more fun, more media related. And then we'll go back into one more crypto one before we kind of then close out the show. So the next one is going to be iCarly. So the popular Nickelodeon TV show has officially gotten a re-release. Basically, they've rehashed and they've eventually restarted their TV show as an adult sitcom. They've upped the ante, and they are officially considered what they would constitute as a TV PG rating. Did any of you watch iCarly? Would any of you keep it? Do you like it? Would you eat it? I'm going to go ahead and start this time with Daniel.
So I watched iCarly when I was younger, and it was a pretty funny show. It was on Nickelodeon. I have not seen the reboot, but some of these reboots for these old shows have been pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a chance, and I'm gonna keep it for now. But maybe in a week or two, I might want to eat it.
Okay. I have seen the reboot officially. And I will say personally, I would keep it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought they kept the iCarly show and just kind of aged it up for, people that are within the 25 to 30-year-old range, people that grew up with iCarly. And I think it's done really, really well, even without Jeanette McCurdy. I think the rest of the cast has been doing a really good job. So personally, I would also keep that. Let's go ahead and go to Siggy next.
You know what? I'll be honest with you, is that I'm so focused on other things right now that I haven't been paying too much attention to it. I did watch it when I was growing up, just a little bit. I don't have enough information to justify my answer, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But why not? Hey, you know what? If everybody from different ages can enjoy it, then so be it, and I'll keep it.
Perfect. Sadie, you're up next.
I am right along with Siggy, and this is making me feel kind of old, but I've never seen this show before. And I'll be honest, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. I don't have like cable. I don't watch a whole lot of TV anyway. But you know, it sounds like it's a cool show, and I would go ahead and say keep it, because it's obviously out there for the reboot and people want it. So I'll say
Perfect.
keep it.
Hey, and it's okay if it's something that like is a little bit. We have this happens legitimately all the time. We keep it or eat it. A lot of times we'll put like a movie or we'll put a show out, and one of us hasn't seen it, and so we don't really have much to base on the opinions. But it's fun to have that conversation anyway.
Yeah.
Coco, what are your thoughts?
Well, this is going to be a first, but none of your guests today are familiar with iCarly. I know the name. I don't know the characters. I don't know. Listen, if you would have named probably any other show or like movie, I probably would have known it. But that particular one, I never grew up watching. I was more of like a Rugrats, like Nickelodeon kid, like it was, that's just what I grew up on. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just too old for that era.
That's totally fine. Totally get that. I also grew up with the Rugrats. And I will say Rugrats also has a reboot, which you don't have to watch that. it's
Yeah,
it's its own thing.
I don't want to ruin a classic. I'm good.
Yeah, totally good with that. And then Greg, I'm gonna assume maybe you also haven't seen iCarly as well.
Yeah, to keep it 100% transparent and honest, I have never seen the original iCarly, never even heard or seen the reboot. But I can tell you this, you know, if you're a fan of iCarly and you saw the original and you like the reboot and you think they did it justice by rebooting it, then you should keep it. If you're a true fan of the original and you think they did not do it justice in the reboot, then you should eat it. So since I haven't seen it, I can't judge either way. I leave that up to the true fans of iCarly to decide that. But that's my 2 cents on it.
Okay, totally good with that. And so I think we had 4 mid-level that were kind of like, meh, haven't seen it yet. But if people say it's good enough for a reboot, I'm okay with it. So that's pretty cool. Next thing we're going to talk about, I know you guys know this one, which is the Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious has officially announced that their next movie will be coming out this weekend, Fast 9. There is a trailer out. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the trailer. It's ridiculous, as most Fast and Furious movies are. Do you guys like the Fast and Furious franchise? Do you think it's ridiculous? If there's another movie, would you watch it? Would you keep it, or would you not watch it and throw it in the trash? I'm going to go ahead and start with Greg on this one.
Oh boy, make me go first. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I like the Fast and Furious series. I've seen several of them. I think they're fun entertainment. A lot of action, a lot of car chases, different things going on, which keeps your attention and makes it fun and entertaining. They have a wide variety of guest stars that they've brought throughout the series, which is really nice and awesome. And they have some cool cars, which is always good to look at, and see the different modifications that they make to them and different things that they do. So that's always fun and interesting. And yeah, I would definitely go see another one if they come out with a new one, and I'd support it. So yeah, I would definitely keep it.
Perfect. Siggy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I might catch some flack for this from some of my friends, but after Paul Walker passed away, it kind of lost its magic for me, to be honest with you. And it's like, dude, you've made a lot of money off of the franchise. Like sometimes you just gotta go out on a good note. And it's like you're hitting the 9th movie right now. Like I can't remember the last time that I watched a series like that, or unless it's like Jason or like Freddy Krueger or something like that from back in the days. I love the cars though, and the thing is too is that I'm a little bit biased because I've got to enjoy it while growing up, where I guess a lot of the generation nowadays hasn't had that opportunity. But for me, if it was up to me, I'm all about people making money, but I think it's time to put it to bed. I'm gonna yeet that.
Woo, we got another yeet. Vroom, vroom. Next up, Sadie.
Wow, I love these movies. I'm on the fence, right? Because I can see both sides of it. It does on one side, it's like, wow, 9, really? It's a little much. But on the other side of the fence, I just think Vin Diesel. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it because he's fun to look at.
No pessoal. Family. Next up, we have good old Coco.
Listen, there's a reason Signature is my brother from another mother, because we see eye to eye on this one. After Paul Walker passed, it was no longer something I could watch. I have only cried over a few celebrities that died, and Paul Walker was 1,000,000% one that I bawled like a baby over, because he was so genuine and so good hearted. And so when he passed, it just felt like the movies, the Fast and Furious franchise died. And so it's like, while I do love a lot of the other characters, I do think that it got a little bit ridiculous. Just a little too outrageous. The stunts were just way too unbelievable. And to me, it feels more like they're just kind of keep going for the money. And, I get it, but, Hollywood has to start coming out with some more original ideas and a little bit better, instead of just adding on and adding on and adding on to these ones that were great after the first one or just after the second one. I think for me, I stopped watching Fast and Furious after I think it was the 4th or 5th one, whenever Paul Walker was he passed away. So yeah, I'm gonna say yeet.
Okay. Wow. So far, we have a pretty even keep and yeet. That's pretty sweet. I'm going to go ahead and break it up for now. And I'm going to go ahead and say, personally, I'm going to keep it just because it's my wife's favorite franchise. but I kind of agree with Siggy and Coco. Not necessarily on the Paul Walker thing. I still think there's fun to be had with some of the Fast and Furious movies after it. Um, but I do think that there's a ridiculousness that has increased since Paul Walker has passed. And I don't know if it's directly linked to Paul Walker, but there's just been sometimes it's just gotten dumber and dumber without realizing, and just more ridiculous and more funny. And they've kind of become more of like comedies to me. So I see them as more of an action comedy now rather than I see it family all the time. I think you could probably make a drinking game out of it. With that being said, I'd still keep it because it's fun and it's mindless. And sometimes you have to have a mindless show to watch just to kind of get your mind off the craziness of the world. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Danny, you're the last one.
All right. Well, to start off, I love the franchise, the Fast and Furious franchise, but being someone that grew up with the Fast and Furious franchise, and it kind of like it affected me in such a way as a kid that I grew up to be a mechanic, to learn how to tune cars and things like that. It's kind of gotten a little too crazy for me. One and two, like Coco and Siggy said, after Paul Walker died, it was kind of hard for me to watch it, especially since, like I said, I grew up watching the movie, watching the franchise as a kid, idolizing Paul Walker as a race car driver, because he also had like an amazing car collection. He was a race car driver. He did race semi pro. I'm gonna have to eat it. Between that and the fact that they kicked the Rock off of it, it was too many negatives for me, and I'll probably watch it eventually someday. Like, I'll have it in the background, not even pay attention to it. But I'm not keeping that one. I'm gonna eat it.
Wow, our first tie. Dang, nice guys. I'm glad we had a good one with this one. The last one I was gonna do for keep it or eat it was buying in the red, but I'm pretty sure the majority of us would keep that because we like to buy in the red when there's opportunity. I don't know if anybody disagrees. If anybody disagrees, speak now, forever hold your peace. I'm gonna give you guys 5, 4, 3.
I'm not
I'm just.
selling.
Oh, I'm not selling either.
No, never
Hold,
sell.
hold.
Buy more.
I'm buying
buy
the
more,
dip.
Buy more.
Buy,
Cost
buy,
average
buy.
down.
This is not financial advice.
Yes, not financial advice, but always best to cost average down. So anytime it dips, buy it so you just get a lower price for your overall shares or coins, depending on what the case may be. But this is not financial advice. This is what I do. Don't listen to me. I just know how to throw a great event and the best party you guys will have ever seen. But financial advice, don't take it from us.
I love setting it off.
I might be aging myself here, but when I see the red, I actually see a Kmart blue special going on. So I hop on in and get that red.
Hey, nice.
Oh my God, that's
Perfect.
so brilliant, Sadie. I haven't heard about Kmart blue light specials in years. That's
you gotta
awesome.
hashtag that. Hashtag
We need
Kmart
to
Blue
bring
Light Special.
we need to I don't know if Kmart even exists anymore. If it doesn't, we need to bring it back. I love the blue light special. And
Me
those
too.
slushies or the ices or whatever they had,
yes.
those were just the best ever.
Yep. I used to love Kmart. You remember they used to have a little eatery. We would go in and have like lunch, and
Little
then
Caesar's pizza back when it was only.
yes, the crazy bread. And you would hear that blue light special go on and you would run for it. Everybody would run for the blue light. So that's how I see the red with crypto and Dogecoin.
You gotta hashtag that, Sadie. Hashtag Blue Light Special.
I know.
And
We should. I will.
Okay, so before we officially end this with the outro, Greg, drum roll, please. Would you like to go ahead and announce? What's it called? Would you like to go ahead and announce
the next clue?
The next clue. I blanked so hard.
The second clue. Yeah, I think we can do that for you guys. You guys have been awesome. It's so amazing that you invited all of us on. This has been an amazing podcast. You guys are brilliant. The questions have been awesome. And we just love the fun, and we're proud and honored to work with you guys and proud to host your, be the sponsor of your new segment, Keep It or Eat It. That's going to be awesome. But, yes, let's go ahead and give the community what they want. The second clue in figuring out where the location is a number, and the number is 1.
You heard it first. The number for the clue, this official second clue, is 1. All right. And that's going to conclude this episode of the Weekly D podcast. If you like what you heard, you can reach out to us and give us a follow on Spotify. We're also available on iTunes and pretty much anywhere else you find podcasts. I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to our speakers today. Thank you guys for coming on. I would like you guys to go ahead and shout out your personal, Instagrams, Twitters, where they can find you. So let's go ahead and start off with Siggy.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Signature Doge, in the building. I appreciate y'all for having me today. You can come to my page and follow me at Signature Doge. I'm only on Twitter. I am doing this. This is where I live. This is where I resonate here. I want to make some shout outs, of course, to the Dogepalooza team. Thank you, El Shiv, my brother Kyle over here, Danny. I am so glad that I got to talk to you, brother. Thank you guys both for doing this. I want to give a shout out also to the fellow speakers here, to the team. I want to shout out to all the listeners too. If this is your first time hearing it, we got a big home, we got lots of rooms, and we got plenty of space for y'all to come join the Doge Army. We will welcome you with open arms, and we hope that you stay with us and continue to do only good every day. And I appreciate y'all, and I can't wait to see you guys at Dogepalooza this year. Let's go.
Next up, Coco.
So I'm Coco Chanel Adair, for anybody who doesn't know. I am mostly active on Twitter nowadays. I do have an Instagram. It's private at the moment, but you guys can always send me a request. It's Coco Chanel Adair, CocoChanel Adair. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. I will be excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. But follow me on Twitter. I do have my weekly Doge chat with Coco, and we do all kinds of different chats, from mental health to new investor chats. We're going to be having a business chat this Thursday. And so if you know any businesses or charities and want to come and be involved, feel free to let us know. And again, thank you guys so much for having me on, and thank you for the team, and just so excited for Dogepalooza and to get to meet you all in person.
Thank you so much, Coco. We do appreciate it. Sadie, you're up next.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having us today. I'm so honored to be part of the Weekly D podcast. And my name is Sadie. You can find me on Twitter. I am at Sadie Supafly. It's SADIESUPAFLY. So come follow for new announcements on Dogepalooza, and join us on Twitter Spaces with Coco and Sincere Doge. You won't be disappointed. And like Sadie said, if you're not a part of the community, I hope you do come, because it's the most loving, passionate community, supportive system that you've ever seen. So I can't wait to meet each and every one of you at Dogepalooza, and I'm so excited. Love you guys.
Thanks, Sadie. And then last but not least, founder of Dogepalooza, Greg.
I just want to thank both Danny and Kyle for inviting us on to the Weekly D podcast. You guys are amazing. We love what you're doing. We support what you're doing, and we just can't thank you enough for giving us this opportunity to talk about Dogepalooza, get to know some of our members on our core team, and have fun with you guys. It's been a blast. We've really enjoyed this podcast. It's fun. Anytime you want us back, let us know. We'd love to come back anytime for you guys and help break some more news about Dogepalooza with you guys. That being said, I'm the one that handles the official Dogepalooza accounts. Twitter, it's at Dogepalooza. Instagram, Dogepalooza. Facebook, Dogepalooza. Discord, Dogepalooza. Pinterest, Snapchat, Telegram. Anywhere you find us, it's Dogepalooza online. And of course, our official website is dogepalooza.com, where you can find out all the latest news. You can sign up to participate, be a vendor, sponsor, volunteer, what have you. And we're going to be revamping that website. It'll still be dogepalooza.com, but we will be revamping it and making it something special for you guys and launching the new logo on that as well. And I just want to thank everybody in the Doge community for their love and support. Without every single one of you, we could not make this happen. And I just want to thank all of our sponsors. They are an amazing group of people. I want to thank all the charities that we're working with and trying to help support in this event. And I just want to thank everybody on our team, all the core team members, and all the other people that work tirelessly behind the scenes to make this happen. And most importantly, I want to thank the community, because without your all's love and support and your all's ideals and suggestions and volunteering, we could not make this happen. So we love you all. We look forward to seeing every single one of you at Dogepalooza. We can't wait. I want to thank Damon Elliott and his mother, Miss Dionne Warwick, for believing in us and wanting to come and perform. And it's just going to be epic, much wow, amazing. And I just can't wait to be there with all of our friends and family. And I just can't wait to truly embrace the Doge community and the do only good everyday spirit, and basically have that moment where we're all there together as one. We're all there as a community. We're all there as friends and family. And that's what truly friends are for. Thank you all.
With that being said, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.